Half an hour later, Fugaku, Makoto, Seiko, and Sasuke are sitting around the dining table. Fugaku and Makoto looked at Sasuke excitedly and inexplicably. And Sasuke, with a similar expression, looked at the parents in memory. So, you are Seiko from another world. In that world, he has grown to be about the same age as us. Fugaku asked with a trembling voice after Sasuke's narration. Granted, a change on Sako's side is in Uchiha's best interest. But Sasuke is more realistic. Although everything here is real, it still feels a little dreamy. Sasuke, you worked hard. Makoto looked at Sasuke's broken arm with tears in his eyes, and said with tears in his heart. Although Sasuke is so sad, in their hearts, Sasuke is more in line with their inner expectations. However, neither of them said that Seiko suddenly became a girl. This is what Zuozi warned them a long time ago: in front of anyone, she must be killed. She is a woman disguised as a man, and she was born a girl. Zuozi was also afraid that his reward would be deprived by the goddess system due to information leaks. Father, Mother, I am very happy to see you again. I believe that with Seiko here, you can still live a stable life. After a brief emotional immersion, Sasuke said with a slightly choked feeling. Don't worry about this, I will take good care of my parents. Sasuke pouted and interjected beside him. The parents' attitude towards Sasuke made Sasuke slightly jealous. Correct. Since you are so old, you should get married. How is life now? Do you have any children? Makoto suddenly thought of something, looked at Sasuke and asked excitedly. Fugaku and Seiko closed their mouths tacitly and listened. The commander's son-in-law had the most complicated mood, and he didn't know whether it was expectation or fear. Feel sorry. I am currently single and not married. Sasuke thought of Naruto and little Sakura, his pupils shrank, he gritted his teeth and bowed his head. That's it. That's really a pity. Sasuke's words were like a stick stuck on the heads of Fugaku and Makoto, and the two said with disappointed faces. Really? Sasuke thought of Sasuke's entrustment to Boruto before, but he didn't doubt it. Ahem. Of course, you can tell by looking at me now. By the way, what's up with you and Naruto? Are you two together? Sasuke hastily used his broken arm as an excuse to block Sasuke's questioning, and turned against the general. Makoto's and Fugaku's eyes lit up at the same time, and their suspicious eyes turned to Seiko. Not at all. Why do you ask such a question? Seiko was also choked by these words, with a hint of shame and anger on his face, he retorted reflexively. I saw that group photo. Thinking of the photo just now, Sasuke said with a dark face. Is that the family portrait? Seiko, I was going to ask you about this tonight. What happened to that photo? Makoto instantly understood what Sasuke was talking about, stared at Zuozi sharply and asked. When she went to Sako's room to clean up this morning, she saw the upside-down photo frame and the photo on the table. Makoto arranged the photo with a lot of thought, and was going to ask Seiko at night. As a result, when Sasuke came at night, he temporarily forgot about it. Zuozi's pretty face was full of embarrassment when she heard the questioning of the two. The negative, she sent it to the photo studio by mistake the day before yesterday, and someone had it developed. But when she went to pick up the photo last night, she found that the words, family portrait, were printed on it by the store's own initiative. Because it was Wang Dai, Hokage was too embarrassed to get angry, so he took the film home. Unexpectedly, such an oolong came out. Photo? What's the meaning? However, if the opponent is Uzumaki Naruto, it is not impossible. Fugaku looked at the three people with big eyes and small eyes strangely, thought for a while and said in a deep voice. Naruto's strength, identity, and influence are all values that Fugaku values. Can't. Impossible. Sasuke and Seiko shouted at the same time, ruthlessly rejecting Fugaku's proposal. After speaking, the two looked at each other tacitly, staring at Fugaku and Makoto with burning eyes. Talk to Naruto? What are you kidding? Then let's not talk about it. Sasuke, I'm going to clean up a room for you. Seeing the awkward atmosphere, Makoto hurriedly found an excuse to leave. I will arrange for Anbu to step up vigilance. Fugaku's scalp was a little numb from the staring eyes of the two, and he ran away in a hurry. By the way, isn't there a daughter who is still not married? Fugaku felt a little headache when he thought of this. Why did you come into my room privately? Also, what's the matter with your arm? Sasuke stared at Sasuke angrily, saying indignantly. It was an accident, and I didn't know it was your room. This arm. Can I not talk about it? Sasuke was also frightened by Sako's eyes, pretending to be cold and paralyzed. He can't say that he was taught a lesson by Naruto in the future, and he had a friend with a broken arm before he realized himself. It's embarrassing to say that. Okay. don't want to say it? I warn you that you are not allowed to enter my room in the future. Sasuke was also annoyed by Sasuke's attitude, turned around and went back to the room after leaving a word. To be honest, Seiko is also very embarrassed now. It's embarrassing to be seen in your boudoir by another self, okay? The other side Tanokuni Orochimaru base. This is the power of Mangekyo Sharingan and Rinnegan. What a wonderful power. Feeling the new perspective and power, Orochimaru growled wildly. Because of having a Rinnegan, Orochimaru is now a left-eyed Mangekyo and a right-eyed Rinnegan. The pupil technique of the left eye is Fugaku's transfer damage. Rinnegan of the right eye, awakened beast way, hungry Kido, summoning Gedo statue, outer way Rinne Tensai technique. Among them, it belongs to the heretic Rinne Tensai technique, which surprised Orochimaru. He has always been curious about Uchiha's resurrection from the dead, but he did not expect that he also awakened a similar ability. Orochimaru didn't care about the fatal flaw of risking his life to resurrect others. He's a raspy forbidden technique with living corpse reincarnation. When Shinigami comes, you have to call Snakeskin, what kind of thing is this? Quack quack. It's really surprising. Orochimaru, I had no idea you had a Rinnegan. Black-white Zetsu suddenly appeared from the ground. Black Zetsu looked at Orochimaru and smiled strangely. Since Black Zetsu escaped last time, he combined with a white Zetsu clone to form a new black-white Zetsu. Absolutely? What do you want me to do? The Akatsuki organization is now hunting you. Tell me, should I capture you and hand you over to Uchiha Itachi? Orochimaru's eyes were full of killing intent, and he locked his eyes on Black Zetsu and said coldly. But he didn't move at all, but stared at black-white Zetsu playfully. The last time Naruto showed Orochimaru's future picture, there was no information about Black Zetsu. Orochimaru is also curious about what secret black-white Zetsu has. Orochimaru, how about we make a deal? You help me to be alone, and I will give you a profound meaning beyond ninjutsu, the yin and yang escape technique. Aren't you looking for the mysteries of ninjutsu? Yin-yang escape technique is the source of ninjutsu. Black Zetsu looked directly at Orochimaru without any concealment, and expressed his sincerity with confidence. According to his investigation, it is impossible for Orochimaru not to agree. It's also an alternative to his brooding. I just didn't expect that Orochimaru actually owned a Rinnegan. This is a surprise for Black Zetsu, Konoha. Hyuga clan land, you said, you are my nephew? Hanabi, who was only 8 years old, stared at Boruto who was guarding Hinata with pure white eyes, and asked cheerfully. Well, that's right. Andy, you will be a powerful ninja in the future. Boruto was asked by Hanabi, and he blurted out. Mighty ninja. I'm going to tell my father that I will be a strong ninja in the future. The spark of childlike innocence left Boruto immediately after hearing this, and ran out happily. Hanabi's laughter also awakened the fainted Hinata, her beautiful eyes opened quietly. Mom, you're awake. Boruto discovered Hinata's situation immediately, and immediately stepped forward and shouted in surprise. Dizzy Hinata just woke up and almost fainted by Boruto's cry. But for some reason, Hinata was just shy and didn't faint again. You, don't bark. I'm not your mother. Hinata sat up, looked at the quilt with a slightly flushed face, and whispered annoyed. Mom, you really are my mother. I came to this world from the future world. You are my mother and Naruto is my father. You not only gave birth to me, but also a younger sister, Sunflower. This, I have confirmed to Grandpa Hiyashi and Uncle Neji that it is 19 years old. Mom, you must take the initiative to fight for Dad. I see him now with little Sakura aunt. You have to work hard. My sister and I don't want to be gone before we are born. Looking at Hinata's weak temper, Boruto shouted anxiously. Just now, in order to prove his identity, Boruto said some family fun that Hiyashi told him later. And played gentle fist in a decent way. Well, even though his gentle fist is a batch of dishes, it is still recognized by Hiyashi and the others. Boruto clearly stated some gentle fist secrets that only the Zong family knew. Sunflower? Little Sakura has been with Naruto-kun. How is this possible? Hinata was awakened by Boruto's words, looked at Boruto suspiciously, and trembled in disbelief. Mom, just leave little Sakura aunt alone. Go after Dad as soon as possible, you and Dad are the most suitable couple. The lives of my sister and I are in your hands. Don't believe me, I have a way to prove my identity. Seeing that Hinata was still in disbelief, Boruto gritted his teeth and took out a small medical kit from the ninja bag. This is the medical kit carefully prepared by Hinata in the future. Under Hinata's puzzled eyes, Boruto quickly opened the medical bag, revealing the contents inside. This is. Hinata's pupils changed suddenly, and his eyes were dull looking at the image of 4 people imprinted on the inside of the medical bag. Although the appearance of the 2 adults above is somewhat different from the present one, Hinata still recognizes them at a glance. They are her and Naruto. And the other 2 children, one is the smaller Boruto, and the other is the sunflower that does not appear here. Now you believe it. This is the genin gift you carefully prepared for me, Mom. Now, I will give it to you. Seeing Hinata's astonished gaze, Boruto reached out and pushed the medical kit directly to Hinata. You said before, what's your name? Boruto? Hinata took the medical kit, looked blankly at the happy family of 4 above, and asked. Well, I am the eldest son of my parents, Uzumaki Boruto. That girl is my younger sister, Uzumaki Sunflower. She has inherited her mother's blood successor boundary, White Eyes. He is in existence with more ninja talent than me. Boruto looked at the younger sister Sunflower in the image, and thought of the horror of Sunflower's eyes rolling out. He just pouted with a straight face. Naruto-kun, Uzumaki Boruto, Uzumaki Sunflower. Hinata looked at the image above, muttering incessantly. The blush on her face faded, and the determination in her eyes became more serious. Hinata's character is soft on the outside and strong on the inside. Now that Boruto said so, and this similar photo is added as evidence, I believe 99% of the future that Boruto said in my heart. As the saying goes, a mother is strong. Although Hinata hasn't changed directly now, she already has an idea in her heart. Boruto. Don't worry, I won't let you disappear. Can you tell me again, what happened to little Sakura and your dad? This world, and I need to know about that world. A trace of shyness flashed in Hinata's eyes, but she still gritted her teeth and said firmly. She couldn't let Boruto see her weakness, and the meaning in the words is self-evident. Is such that. When Boruto saw Hinata asking this question, he was overjoyed instantly, and he began to tell the story of seeing little Sakura holding Naruto's arm while shopping. And, the relationship he knows in that world. Fortunately, Boruto is still a little sensible, and he didn't say anything about the future marriage status of little Sakura. It's just that she is single and has been working in Konoha Hospital. At this time, Naruto knows nothing about the changes in Boruto and Hinata. He is enjoying the double oppression of Tsunade and Bai, and trying his best to fight back. Boruto cheerfully followed Hinata to find Naruto. However, Hinata's complexion is a bit intriguing. Boruto, why don't you go back? I can do this by myself. Hinata glanced at Boruto without leaving any traces, and whispered after a moment of entanglement. This took her son to grab her husband, which made Hinata somewhat shy and reluctant to let go. Ha ha ha, Mom, I understand. I'm going to go for a walk. Boruto smiled like a kid, and ran to the side street in a hurry. Call. In the end, should I do that? After seeing Boruto's figure disappear, Hinata let out a long sigh of relief, and blushed in embarrassment. Obviously he has made up his mind, but why is he hesitant to move forward? Hinata was so depressed, and walked slowly towards Naruto's house with a lot of thoughts. I knew it would be like this. Looks like Boruto-sama, have to be the ones. Boruto, who was hiding on the corner of the street, secretly watched Hinata's slow back, and said in a low voice. You kid. What are you doing sneakily? Just as Boruto was about to act, suddenly there was an arrogant shout behind him. What do you care about me? You are. Boruto has such a violent temper, he immediately responded impolitely. But the moment he turned his head, he saw the leading kid and the 2 little kids behind him, and exclaimed with wide-eyed eyes. Been found? Yes, I am the grandson of 3rd Hokage. The future Hokage, Sarutobi Konohamaru-sama. Konohamaru confidently raised his head and introduced himself arrogantly. Really, Mr. Konohamaru. Those 2 should be Izudon Jonin and Fusai Mo Huang Jonin. However, you, a Hokage grandson, are even more arrogant than my Hokage son. Such a stinky character, I really deserve a beating. Boruto looked at Konohamaru with weird eyes, thinking about whether to take advantage of the moment to win the game and beat him up. Konohamaru, Boruto. How are you here? Naruto took a bunch of meatballs, leisurely came in front of several people and said unexpectedly. Well, he just broke out from the tenderness of Tsunade, looking for something to fill his stomach. Dad. Why are you here? You take me home quickly, I want to go to the bathroom. Thinking of Hinata who was walking towards Naruto's house, Boruto hurriedly urged. Dad? Before Naruto could speak, the 3 of Konohamaru exploded, looking at the 2 of them in bewilderment at the same time. As expected of my eldest brother, he actually had a child so early. Brother, does this kind of thing need to be kept secret? You can't let little Sakura know. Konohamaru was the first to react, stretching out his thumb and shouting in admiration. Then, under the bewildered eyes of Naruto and Boruto, Konohamaru pretended to come to Boruto. Cough cough. Little devil, your father is my elder brother. You are my eldest nephew. From now on in Konoha village, I will cover you. Come on. Call uncle, let me hear. Konohamaru stood in front of Boruto with his head held high, and he pretended to be calm in high spirits. Naruto. Boruto. This is my Konohamaru-sensei? Dad. Let's go home quickly. I can't hold it anymore. Boruto suddenly thought of Hinata, ignored Konohamaru and urged Naruto. Damn brat. You're ignoring my existence, Konohamaru. Today, I must teach you a lesson. Konohamaru, who was waiting to pretend, glared angrily when he saw that Boruto ignored him. As he spoke, his hands quickly formed a mudra, and the chakra all over his body exploded under his feet. Nani. This handprint is Yin-Zian, fire-style ninjutsu? Seeing Konohamaru's posture, Boruto took a step back and looked at Konohamaru in surprise and said in shock. He never expected that Konohamaru would know fire-style ninjutsu at such a young age. As expected, the genius Konohamaru, Konoha Shinobi esoteric body art profound meaning 1,000 years of death. At the moment when Boruto was shocked, chakra under Konohamaru's feet exploded, quickly came behind the unprepared Boruto, let out a low shout, and launched an attack. In the next moment, Boruto's pupils widened, his eyes turned white, his face twisted until his body trembled slightly. As for Naruto, Udon, and Mungwang, they all looked at the two people with ambiguous actions unexpectedly and embarrassingly. Especially Naruto, his eyes are full of weirdness, and his heart is full of sympathy. This 1,000 years of death, he had inadvertently imparted to Konohamaru. Unexpectedly, this foolish son of Otherworld took the lead. Thinking that in Otherworld Naruto was like Kakashi, and now Boruto is like Konohamaru, is it because of the ancestral 1,000 years of death? Naruto wants to stop it, of course it is easy. However, Naruto doesn't care about this slapstick. Allah. It hurts, I'm going to kill you, you little brat, for sure. With tears of humiliation in his eyes, Boruto fell to the ground looking at Konohamaru proudly, and roared cursingly. Just now, he was careless. I thought that the opponent was going to attack from the front, so I didn't take care of my back. I didn't expect it to be such a wretched move. This is also because Konohamaru's strength is not enough, otherwise, Boruto would have passed out from the pain. Quack quack. Now you know how powerful I am, Konohamaru-sama. This is the esoteric body art that Naruto-san taught me. Konohamaru proudly stretched out his finger, bragging confidently. Konohamaru, almost done. I'll take Boruto to the bathroom first, and you guys can play by yourself. Seeing this, Naruto interrupted Konohamaru's speech in embarrassment, and was about to leave with Boruto. And many more, brother Naruto, since I met you, let me show you my accomplishments. Seduction technique. Konohamaru immediately stepped forward to stop Naruto's movement, grinning and making mudras with both hands, and laughed. With a bang, a white smoke drifted past. A black-haired beauty with a hot figure appeared in front of Naruto in a purple low-cut short skirt. He, how are you, brother Naruto? Konohamaru, who turned into a woman, blinked her charming big eyes at Naruto pretending to be shy, leaned down and said contrivedly. Naruto was dumbfounded when he saw this scene. In other words, to truly become a man, he really can't handle this trick. HMPH, your seduction technique is so frustrating, you have the nerve to show it off. What a disgrace. Boruto, who was badly wounded by Konohamaru, saw the unrestrained blow. Little devil, what are you talking about? What kind of simple ninjutsu do you think? This is a ninjutsu that I worked so hard to collect information and complete. Konohamaru went mad instantly, shouting angrily at Boruto who fell to the ground. Isn't it just the technique of seduction? What's so great about it? Look at mine. Seduction technique. Although Boruto was attacked by Konohamaru, he is now a loser, and he is determined to hit Konohamaru's self-confidence. Boruto yelled in disdain, and shouted loudly with his hands clasped together. In the case of Naruto's black face, Boruto's blonde cool beauty, who has changed, makes an appearance. Because Boruto is lying on the ground, the appearance after transformation is also lying on the ground sideways, which adds a special charm out of thin air. What? You brat, you know how to seduce yourself. Konohamaru stared dumbfounded at Boruto's changing beauty, and shouted after comparing himself. But Boruto looked at Konohamaru proudly and dismissively. Naruto looked at the two goods speechlessly, with weird eyes. Is this the ancestral seduction technique? Enough. Konohamaru, didn't I say last time, stop practicing that kind of boring ninjutsu? Forget it. I just have time today, so I will teach you a ninjutsu. Well, Boruto too. Naruto took 2 steps forward and grabbed the shoulders of the two, and Flying Thunder God launched directly, leading the two out of here. Only Udon and Mungwang were left with big eyes and small eyes. Konoha Hushan Naruto brought Konohamaru and Boruto under the giant tree in the dense forest. Boruto, if you need to go to the bathroom, just find a place to do it. Wait a minute, I will teach you a move that suits you. Naruto dismissed Boruto and set his sights on Konohamaru. Konohamaru, your ninja talent is very good. Now, I will teach you a super powerful Muji Jutsu. Naruto looked at Konohamaru and said seriously. Konohamaru's ninja talent is no less than Kakashi's. He has been trained well, and when his children grow up, he is completely a qualified teacher and nanny. Interrupted by Naruto, Boruto completely forgot about Hinata, pretended to go to the bathroom, and stared at Naruto longingly when he came back. Shadow clone technique. Your situation is different, so teach students in accordance with their aptitude. Konohamaru, you learned oysters from Shadow Clone. Boruto, you come with me. Seeing Boruto's return, Naruto made a Shadow Clone with his seals, stood in front of the two, and brought Boruto to the side as soon as he gave an order. Shadow Clone is not far away, guiding Konohamaru's initial chakra control training. Boruto, hold out your hand. With a thought in Naruto's mind, the ability copy glove appeared on his right hand, shouting to Boruto. Is that so? Boruto, who didn't know why, immediately stretched his right hand to the front and asked in doubt. Naruto was also polite, and directly patted Boruto's hand with his right hand wearing the ability copy glove. Name. Uzumaki Boruto abilities, Clear Eyes, Hidden, Wedge, Hidden, Lure Technique, Rasengan, Wind Style Gale Palm, Boruto Airflow, Gentle Fist, Shadow Clone Technique. After Naruto detected Boruto's condition, he decided to vote. The Otsutsuki Peach Style Wedge was planted as expected. Wedge is a unique ability derived from the Otsutsuki clan. People of the Otsutsuki family can copy themselves and digitize themselves, and then penetrate into other people's bodies. The people who are penetrated call it device or container. On the palm of the chi, there will be a black diamond imprint as the initial mark, and this imprint is wedge. The wedge will gradually thaw as the vessel grows. And the vessel will also gain the power of Otsutsuki as the wedge is unsealed. Until, after the complete release, the Otsutsuki family will complete the resurrection through the vessel. Well, it's basically an upgraded version of Orochimaru's resurrection with a spell seal. However, since you met me, you are considered unlucky. Otsutsuki Peach Style. Naruto snickered, instantly copied Boruto's eyes, and withdrew his right hand. Father, what powerful move do you want to teach me? Seeing Naruto's right hand away, Boruto asked excitedly. Hee. Roar. Of course it is to help you start the tattoo era. Naruto joked meaningfully, and then entered Kurama mode, and began to instill chakra into Boruto's wedge. He wants to activate the wedge in advance and give Boruto an opening. Tattoo age. What a powerful chakra. Boruto glanced at Naruto strangely, and was shocked by the huge chakra of 9 tails, clenched his fists and said excitedly. As Naruto continued to input 9 tails chakra, a black diamond mark appeared on the palm of Boruto's hand. This imprint is the initial sign of the wedge, left by the Otsutsuki Peach Style. Of course, the current wedge has only opened briefly, and it is still in its original state. If Naruto cuts off the supply of chakra, he will hide immediately. What is this thing? Seeing the black mark, Boruto looked at Naruto with wide eyes and asked suspiciously. Peach Style wedge, Boruto does not know yet. Let's talk about it later. Naruto didn't explain anything, he murmured. The Rinnegan in his eyes appeared, and he pressed the wedge with one hand, and the human way ability was activated. He wants to strip Dao Shi's soul out. In this way, the power of Peach Style belongs to Boruto. Wheel, Rinnegan. Daddy still has Rinnegan. After seeing the purple eyes in Naruto's eyes, Boruto exclaimed with dilated pupils. But just for a moment, Boruto gradually lost consciousness. And the black imprint in his hand also quickly extended to his half-body. Momoshiki was awakened by Naruto's movement and occupied his consciousness. Boruto's body leapt back violently and distanced himself from Naruto. Uzumaki Naruto? Rinnegan, was it discovered? Momoji controlled Boruto's body and screamed strangely in embarrassment. Momoshi, hidden in Boruto's body, didn't know that they had traveled through time and space, and thought that his wedge was discovered by Naruto. Momoji just wonders what happened to Naruto's age of an Rinnegan. The power of the human world can't pull you out directly. Otsutsuki's power is really strong. It seems to be a bit troublesome. Naruto looked at Momoshiki, who ran out with a free and easy face, and said indifferently. In terms of cheating, he has never been afraid of anyone. Naruto Shadow Clone, who was farther away, saw this situation and immediately left here with Konohamaru in a daze. At the same time, streaks of golden light appeared on Naruto's body, and his Susanoo was instantly revealed. Naruto didn't know why. After he copied someone else's Susanoo, his own Susanoo turned golden. It is not much different from the color under Kurama mode. In just a split second, Naruto activated Susanoo's third form. In Susan's hand, there appeared a 10-fist sword of the same style as Itachi. Momoshiki turned and fled without hesitation after seeing Naruto's change. In his current state, he can barely surpass Jonin, and even fighting against the current Naruto is courting death. Unless he is willing to abandon the container of Boruto, find a new container to relabel the wedge after the forced outbreak. But the container of the Otsutsuki family is not something that anyone can bear. Unless it is a last resort, Dao Shi is not willing to take that risk at all. Unfortunately, Naruto didn't give him a chance. Universal pull. The Rinnegan in Naruto's eyes trembled, and the power of heaven was activated instantly. The Momo pose controlling Boruto's body was immediately sucked back by the powerful gravitational force. Naruto's chakra is much stronger than Nagato. The speed of universal pull is also frighteningly fast. Almost in the blink of an eye, the jump was pulled tens of meters away from Naruto. No, I have to work hard. Dao Shi looked at the body flying upside down at extreme speed in horror. With a flash of determination in his eyes, he was about to forcibly explode the power of the wedge. Just at this critical moment, Naruto, who had been prepared long ago, pierced through Boruto's right hand with the power of the 10-fist sword with lightning speed. The sealing power of the 10-fist sword is directly activated. What kind of power is this? My consciousness is out of control. Momo stared at Naruto in horror, and roared unwillingly. The black marks all over Boruto's body quickly faded away. Momoshiki, thank you for your strength. But your consciousness, just sink into the dreamlike illusion world. Naruto laughed and teased, and increased Chakra's sealing calendar with 10 fist swords. Under Rinnegan's observation, after confirming the consciousness of pulling out the peach pose, Naruto decisively swung the 10 fist sword, cutting off the connection between the peach pose and the wedge. Do not. I am not reconciled. You ants, how dare, how can you? Dao Shi once again roared unwillingly and incompetently, but was still pulled into the gourd by a punch sword and completely sealed. That's it. The current wedge of the peach pose is equivalent to unconscious power. Even if it broke out in the end, it was a wedding dress for Boruto. Naruto quickly retracted Susanoo, looking at Boruto, who fell slowly to the ground, and said to himself. Tip. Change the fate trajectory of Uzumaki Boruto, an important character in the parallel world, and get 100,000 Honkai points. Okay, this is a real hammer. Hearing the notification tone, Naruto said with complete relief in his heart. Just when Naruto stepped forward to check on Boruto's situation, suddenly, a figure suddenly appeared beside Boruto. What happened just now? How did I feel the breath of Peach, whose name is that strange Susanoo? Sasuke came to Boruto, looked around vigilantly, and asked Naruto. The purple Ryugo Jade Rinnegan in the left eye exudes a compelling power. Just now, Sasuke came here instantly from Konoha village through exchanging hands with branches. Sasuke, it seems that your intelligence is still a bit lacking. Boruto was parasitized by Otsutsuki Momo, you don't even know about it. Just now, I lured him out and sealed him. Naruto stepped forward in 2 steps, pretending to check Boruto's situation, and touched Sasuke with his right hand. This Luguyu Rinnegan delivered to your door, don't want it for nothing. Sasuke's gorgeous attributes are beyond words. Naruto only copied Sasuke's one-eyed 6-hook Jade Rinnegan, heavenly hand power, and full-body Susanoo. Boruto was parasitized by Momoji, you sealed him? You know that guy's Susanoo. Naruto, what kind of existence are you? Sasuke was completely stunned by Naruto's continuous information, and asked in shock. Sasuke could clearly see the power of the 10-fist sword just now. Although Sasuke's color is different, Sasuke is too familiar with this one. Me? Just plain Naruto. Sasuke, you can travel through time and space to this era. Why can't I travel through time and space to the future to obtain information? Naruto said nonsense without blushing or panting. Anyway, it's just for fun, whoever believes is stupid. Is that so? Sasuke stared at Naruto suspiciously, and said suspiciously in disbelief. Whatever you want, I'll take Boruto home first. Go and explain it to 5th generation to prevent her from running over to check again. Naruto said indifferently, and led Boruto to launch Flying Thunder God to leave. It doesn't matter how much you've changed, as long as you're still Naruto. Sasuke looked at the open space where Naruto left, and murmured. Just when Sasuke was about to leave, his complexion suddenly changed, his expression trembled excitedly, and he looked at a place. This chakra, you can't go wrong. Sasuke activated Rinnegan's pupil power, felt the familiar chakra burst out under his feet, and quickly swept away to the distance. A corner outside Konoha village, whose Wan district is Susanoo just now. Actually, like me, possesses the sealing power of 10-fist sword. Uchiha Itachi unfolded the Scarlet Eternal Mangekyo, looked at the place where Naruto used Susan, and wondered. After some ideological struggle, Uchiha Itachi still couldn't bear the longing and guilt in his heart, and secretly came to Konoha village. He still wants to see, understand and pamper his parents again. Forget it. There is Naruto in Konoha. The battle is over, and nothing will happen. When Uchiha Itachi saw Susan disappearing soon, he calmed down and said to himself, walking towards the weak point of the barrier he knew without stopping. A moment later Uchiha Itachi's advancing pace suddenly stopped, and his scarlet eyes looked forward to Fang Ping's quiet forest. In front of Uchiha Itachi's line of sight, squirrels, birds and other birds and beasts among the trees are playing in harmony as usual. Occasionally, a small animal awakened by him would dodge away from his side, making way for him. It was in this normal forest that Uchiha Itachi stopped the action uncharacteristically. Whoosh whoosh. Unexpectedly, several kunai were shot out from the depths of the woods at a very high speed, quickly across the sky, and attacked and killed Uchiha Itachi. Seeing such an attack, Uchiha Itachi also just rightly threw 2 kunai, colliding with each other. Although Uchiha Itachi only had 2 kunai, he still used a tricky angle to make the opponent's kunai change direction and fall to the ground at the same time. Come out. Uchiha Itachi looked at the branches of a certain giant tree with cold eyes, and said indifferently. Long time no see, Itachi. Sasuke slowly came out from behind the giant tree, with the same scarlet pupils, staring at Uchiha Itachi. You are? Uchiha Itachi's pupils shrank, and he looked at Sasuke with a changed expression and said unexpectedly. No more facial paralysis before, is it a surprise? Same goes for me. I thought I wouldn't see you in Konoha, but I didn't expect you to appear. Look into your eyes, too, possessing the power of eternal Mangekyo. This time, you don't have to be that big brother who sacrificed everything. Sasuke suppressed the excitement in his heart, stared at Uchiha Itachi's eyes, and said with mixed feelings. Are you really Sasuke? What the hell does this happen? Uchiha Itachi's mind was full of thoughts, and the expression on his face was full of doubts, so he asked tentatively. Through eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, Uchiha Itachi can confirm that the opponent is not using ninjutsu such as transformation technique. Of course I will tell you these things, but before that, I want to know one thing. In your heart, what kind of existence am I? Sasuke's eyes burst out with sharpness, and he questioned Uchiha Itachi loudly, slightly out of control. In that world, his life can be said to be dominated by Uchiha Itachi. Even after the other party dies, through Naruto, use the distinguished heavenly gods to arrange his future. If Yukushi Kabuto hadn't come out halfway, the distinguished heavenly gods stored in Naruto's body would definitely have been used on him. Although he was later broken by Naruto, he accepted and inherited Itachi's will and continued to guard Konoha village. But this does not mean that Sasuke has no objection to this. What kind of existence? It seems that you are indeed my stupid brother, Sasuke. It seems that this world has changed again. Uchiha Itachi did not answer Sasuke's question, but sighed in response to the question. Really? Such an attitude again? Even in another world, you are still so self-righteous. In this case, let me show you my strength. Sasuke saw Uchiha Itachi talking about him like this, especially the stupid brother, which made him explode completely. With an annoyed growl, Luguyu Rinnegan in the left eye broke out, and his hair was windless and automatic. Rinnegan. You have Rinnegan, what's the matter? Uchiha Itachi saw Sasuke's Luguyu Rinnegan, looked at Sasuke warily and questioned. It turns out that there are times when you are surprised. Then I will tell you all this after I teach you a lesson. Susanoo. Sasuke smiled complacently, and let out a low drink pretending to be disdainful, and the complete purple body of Susanoo quickly formed. In just one breath, the purple full-body Susanoo about 200 meters high appeared in front of the stunned Uchiha Itachi in the posture of a warrior god. The armor on its back has extended and changed into wings, which can obviously fly into the sky. The double swords equipped at the waist can easily split mountains, rivers, just by looking at their length. This is the perfect Susanoo beyond the fourth stage of Uchiha Itachi. Standing at the crystal on Susanoo's forehead, Sasuke looked down at Uchiha Itachi, who looked like an ant, feeling extremely happy in his heart. It is true that he wants to teach Uchiha Itachi a lesson, but Sasuke wants the other party to see his growth and communicate on an equal footing. Otherwise, there would be no wasted chakra outburst by Susanoo. Only relying on the little half chakra that Naruto helped him recover, he couldn't hold on to the full body Susanoo for long. Of course, there is also the meaning of showing off. Have you been underestimated? Your strength is indeed beyond my existence. But, although I admit that you are very strong, as a brother, I will not admit defeat easily. Uchiha Itachi looked up at the huge Susanoo, whispering in his mouth. The eternal Mangekyo scarlet flashed in his pupils, and the red Susanoo on his body began to emerge. This time, Uchiha Itachi also broke out with all his strength, and soon a Susanoo about 80 meters high stood opposite Sasuke. The gap between Susanoo in the fourth stage and the perfect Susanoo is so big. Although compared to Sasuke's Suzuo, it lacks 2 pairs of wings, and its height only reaches the opponent's thigh. It can be equipped with 10 fist swords and Yata mirror, and the red Susanoo with 1 sword and 1 shield is also very powerful. Is it only to this extent? So, I'm going to start. With a condescending roar, Sasuke controlled Susanoo and punched it down. It's just showing strength. Sasuke doesn't intend to use weapons. With the thought in Uchiha Itachi's mind, the shield transformed into Yata mirror immediately blocked it. The fists and fists collided, and a terrifying wind pressure erupted, throwing them in all directions at extreme speed. Just like the wind pressure of a 10-level typhoon, it swept across Konoha village in an instant. Sasuke saw that a punch was blocked by Itachi, and the other arm hit Itachi's Susan from another direction. Itachi's Sasuke's strength is not good, but his fighting sense is also very keen, so he immediately retreated to avoid it, and at the same time punched Sasuke's legs. Seiko and Naruto noticed the movement of the 2 huge Susans at the same time. Is that Susanoo from Sasuke? The other person is Itachi. That guy actually returned to the village. After Seiko saw the 2 Susans, one big and one small, he instantly realized the identities of the 2. These 2 guys are really boring. Naruto looked at the 2 Susans who were fighting bare-handed, and could tell at a glance that this was a Tsunere fight between the Uchiha brothers, curled his lips and said. Sasuke didn't take it seriously when he heard the words. Sasuke and Itachi would not transfer the battle to Konoha. Moreover, Sasuke's mood Sasuke can also understand. When Seiko issued an order to appease the village, where Itachi and Sasuke fought, a white light flashed and a figure appeared. I saw him with pale skin and long light blue hair, with a high ponytail tied behind his head. There are 2 dots on the forehead, a pair of white eyes, no eyebrows, and 2 forehead protector-shaped horns on the head. Wearing white clothes, carrying a red light fishing rod, and holding a red light fishing rod. The person who came was Otsutsuki Urashi, who was late to cross. Uchiha Sasuke. Who was that guy? As soon as Pushi appeared, he saw 2 huge Susanoos, and grinned. Pushi, you are finally here. Sasuke also discovered Urashiki at the first time, and immediately dispersed Susanoo to save chakra, staring at Urashito fiercely. Is it an enemy? Although Uchiha Itachi didn't understand what was going on, he also followed Susanoo, looking at Urashiki warily, and asked Sasuke. Well, a very powerful guy. Sasuke fixed his eyes on Urashiki, and said seriously without looking back. Amaterasu. Itachi didn't talk nonsense when he heard the words, his eyes flashed scarlet, and he directly zoomed in cleanly. Urashiki, who was floating in midair, was suddenly surrounded by a large amount of Amaterasu black flames. It's just that this kind of inextinguishable black flame that burns everything doesn't work on Pushi at all, so he grabs it and throws it away. Amaterasu is useless, it really is a tricky enemy. Uchiha Itachi shrank his pupils and stared at Urashiki in fear. Jia, I thought you were rivals at first, but I didn't expect you to be accomplices. Uchiha Sasuke, you guys are here first. Every time you get in my way. Pushi dismissed Amaterasu high and lightly, with the corners of his mouth curled up, holding a red chakra fishing rod, and said with a strange smile. Pooh style. Stop talking nonsense, take your life. The stern look in Sasuke's eyes flashed, and with a roar, he waved his hand and shot several kunai with the lightning-style chakra in his mouth, shooting towards Pushiki at top speed. Fire-style impatience technique. Seeing this, Uchiha Itachi quickly completed the seal with one hand, and then launched an attack. Yeah. I'm not interested in you guys. Konoha village is just ahead, and I'm going to find Uzumaki Naruto, who reclaims the fox's chakra. Pushi rose quickly to avoid the attacks of Sasuke and Itachi, and turned towards Mu Yifei as soon as he turned around. Don't even think about leaving. Sasuke saw that Urashiki wanted to go to Konoha. The six-pointed jade Rinnegan in his left eye trembled, and the Sky Hand Force was launched brazenly. He didn't want Urashiki to fight Naruto and the others in Konoha village. The aftermath of this level of battle is not something that ordinary ninjas can resist. Urashiki, who was flying to Konoha, instantly exchanged places with the branch in front of Sasuke. Troublesome guy. It seems that your chakra has recovered a bit, so I'll accept it. At the moment when Pushi shifted his shape, he shouted angrily, flicked the fishing rod in his hand, and the hook hit Sasuke. Susanoo. At the critical moment, Uchiha Itachi gave a low shout, and Susanoo stretched out his hand to grab Pushi, intending to encircle Wei and save Zhao. But the moment Susanoo caught Urashiki, Urashiki's pupils turned blue Rinnegan, and his body turned into several red chakra paper cranes, which scattered in all directions. This is exactly one of the abilities of Pushilin Rinnegan. The 1,000 paper cranes are instant. At the moment of being attacked, he can transform himself into a few red light paper cranes and disappear from the eyes of the enemy. After that, Pushi can appear anywhere at will. Sasuke, who was recovered by chakra once by Urashi, also activated his hand force to shift his position when the hook was about to touch his body. Gia. What a troublesome two guys. One of the origami cranes transformed by Urashiki appeared behind Uchiha Itachi in an instant, manifested itself, and pierced Uchiha Itachi's body with a flick of the fishhook. The moment Uchiha Itachi entered the body with the hook, he immediately launched the crow clone to avoid it. But I don't know why, but his chakra can't mobilize even the slightest bit, it's like being fixed. Seeing this scene, Sasuke was about to use his hand power to shift Uchiha Itachi's position. But Uchiha's movement was faster, and he retracted the hook in an instant and dodged behind Uchiha Itachi. Sasuke's hand force also moved Uchiha Itachi's body to one side. Quack quack. Delicious chakra. Uchiha Sasuke, I won't play games with you. After Urashi ate Itachi's chakra, he smiled strangely at Sasuke, and his eyes instantly switched to the red Rinnegan state. A black hole suddenly appeared behind him, and Pushi quickly sank into it. This is exactly Ura-style Koizumi Hirasaka. A black portal can be opened out of thin air, and you can freely shuttle in different spaces. Urashiki is no fool, continuing to fight Sasuke, who has restored the strength of Luguyu Rinnegan. There is no point in wasting chakra. With that time, it is better to find a way to recover the tail beast chakra. Are you okay? We must now go back and inform Naruto that they. Sasuke came to Uchiha Itachi, who was exhausted due to the lack of chakra, supported him and said in a low voice. I'm okay. Sasuke, who is that enemy? What is he going to do with the tailed beast? Uchiha Itachi looked at Sasuke worriedly, and asked in cold sweat. There is no time to explain now, let's go back first. Sasuke said solemnly with a cold face, picked up Uchiha Itachi and ran towards Konoha village quickly. At the same time Tanokuni, Yinin village. Orochimaru, I'm ready. Orochimaru was staring tirelessly at the scroll of yin-yang escape technique in his hand when he was suddenly interrupted by a hoarse voice. Absolutely, I hope you'd better not disturb me when I'm researching next time. Otherwise, I will kill you directly. Orochimaru frowned, turned his head sharply to look at Black-White Zetsu, and immediately rushed towards Black-White Zetsu with violent murderous intent, and said coldly. There will be no next time. As long as you help me, we two, I will give you the remaining yin-yang escape scrolls, and we will never meet again. Black Zetsu looked at Orochimaru fearlessly, and said in the same cold voice. That's right. Orochimaru agreed to Black Zetsu's request under the temptation of yin-yang escape. In the past 2 days, Black Zetsu also specially made a sacrificial offering using White Zetsu's avatar, which is used as the sacrificial material for impure world reincarnation. Yes? Then next time we meet, we will be enemies. Absolutely. I hope you can have something good to change your life next time. The strange color in Orochimaru's eyes flashed, he put down the scroll in his hand, and hummed slowly. Let's start. This is the sacrifice in the flesh and blood of that person, I have prepared it for you. Black Zetsu didn't say much, and took out a piece of flesh and blood to Orochimaru. A strange-looking clone of White Zetsu also emerged from the ground and stood beside him. Seeing this, Orochimaru took a deep look at Black-White Zetsu, and began to describe the spell. Soon, the spell of impure world reincarnation was completed, and the sacrificed White Zetsu also sat on the sacrificial position. Yin Si Shu Chen. Ninja Reanimation Jutsu. Everything was ready. Orochimaru didn't break his promise. He quickly completed the mudra with his hands, clasped his palms together, and shouted softly. It's finally started. Orochimaru, you've been duped. Black Zetsu's small eyes looked at the specially made white Zetsu avatar covered in filth, and thought to himself. In order to ensure that Uchiha Madara is not an old man, Black Zetsu also took great pains. However, it's all worth it. With a scream resounding in the basement, the hideous white Zetsu avatar was immediately covered by the dust summoned by the spell. The appearance and body shape instantly changed to the appearance of Uchiha Madara in his youth wearing the red armor of the Sengoku era. Uchiha Madara. Orochimaru looked at the young man in surprise and exclaimed unexpectedly. He finally knew who Black-White Zetsu had brought him back to life. Through Naruto, Orochimaru, who knew the existence of Six Paths Madara in the future, suddenly felt a little bad. However, Orochimaru, who claims to be able to control first generation, and now the blessing of Rinnegan, still stabilized his mentality. Is the time ripe? The time that belongs to me is finally coming? Madara, who closed her eyes, thought she was acting according to his plan, and said confidently. Immediately, his tightly closed eyes opened abruptly, revealing a pair of purple Rinnegans, looking forward indifferently. Wheel, Rinnegan. How is this going? Uchiha Madara, how come there is Rinnegan? Orochimaru saw Uchiha Madara's eyes and exclaimed in shock. At this moment, Orochimaru is stunned, and equally confused. There is Uchiha Madara. The person in front of him was neither Nagato nor Obito, but a big snake with a Rinnegan. This made Uchiha Madara feel bad, and he also found out that he was a body of dirt, and he was not really resurrected as he thought. Well, Uchiha Madara, who committed suicide at the end of World War E, knew Orochimaru. Black Zetsu, what's going on? What about Nagato and Obito? Uchiha Madara glanced directly at Orochimaru, looked at Black Zetsu beside him and said indifferently. You know Nagato? Tut tut. It seems that I have discovered some terrible secret. Before Black Zetsu could speak, Orochimaru's eyes flickered, the corners of his mouth raised, his tongue licked his lips subconsciously, and he smiled. The existence of Nagato, the current Orochimaru naturally knows. But Obito, Orochimaru didn't know it. There was a little surprise. I can only use this method to wake you up early. But fortunately, there is another candidate. Black Zetsu grinned and explained. The meaning in the words was already very clear. Really? Then tell me the specific situation after I am resurrected. Uchiha Madara snorted indifferently, and cast her eyes on the big snake without concealing it. Resurrection. Do you want to? Hearing this, Orochimaru thought of his awakened Rinne Tensai technique, reacted abruptly, exclaimed one-handed mudra, and tried his best to suppress Uchiha Madara. Late. Junior, don't use forbidden technique indiscriminately, it will kill you. Uchiha Madara formed mudras with both hands, looked at Orochimaru indifferently, the momentum of his whole body exploded, and he snorted coldly. Have you been underestimated? Having said that, the opponent's chakra is really strong. This power is at least 100 times stronger than the first generation before. Is this the power of Uchiha Madara? Can't hold back at all. That handprint is, how would he know? Orochimaru looked at Uchiha Madara's movements, his pupils shrank suddenly, and he thought with cold sweat on his forehead, and tried his best to activate the technique to suppress Uchiha Madara. But Uchiha Madara was not affected at all, and completed the knot seal in his hand. Impure World Reincarnation Solution. Uchiha Madara quickly completed the handprint, let out a low drink, and the aura on her body became even more violent. With this kind of power, even Orochimaru was stunned for an instant. At the moment Orochimaru stiffened, Black Zetsu instantly separated from White Zetsu's body, attached to Orochimaru's body, and controlled Orochimaru's movements. Move. Can't you move? You. What kind of monster are you? Orochimaru shouted to Black Zetsu in horror, and at the same time the anxiety in his heart became stronger. Quack quack. Orochimaru, I am not a single entity, but the embodiment of Lord Madara's will. Originally, I was just going to let Mrs. Madara renegotiate a new plan with a filthy body. But your appearance allows our plan to continue to be implemented. Thank you Rinnegan. Madara-sama, I'm about to start. Black Zetsu controlled Orochimaru's hand seal, and explained to Orochimaru. Is it Rinne Tensai technique? So, Nagato is your original target. So, can you answer my question? How did Uchiha Madara know about the existence of Nagato? How did he have Rinnegan? As far as I know, Uchiha Madara died during the Battle of the Valley of the End. Orochimaru, who was controlled by Black Zetsu, was panicked, but he still asked his doubts. Quack quack. Orochimaru, haven't you been researching the power of Senju and Uchiha? Don't you still understand? Rinnegan, from beginning to end only has the pair of Lord Madara. Nagato, is just a puppet of Madara-sama's lodging eyes. Orochimaru, you already know the Rinne Tensai technique, so I don't need to say more. Black Zetsu, like a dream master, proudly explained to Orochimaru. Senju and Uchiha. Could it be that Rinnegan is the ultimate mystery of Sharingan and Wood style? After hearing this, Orochimaru said with astonishment in his eyes. Black Zetsu, you talk too much nonsense. Seeing Black Zetsu like this, Uchiha Madara snorted impatiently, expressing his dissatisfaction. Understood. Madara-sama. Orochimaru, everything is opposite and complements each other, and the two opposite forces may give birth to all things. This is the scale of Madara-sama. Goodbye, Orochimaru. Heretic's Rinne Tensai technique. After Black Zetsu puzzled Orochimaru again, he directly manipulated Orochimaru's body and launched Rinne Tensai technique on Uchiha Madara. In an instant, Uchiha Madara's body was filled with a lot of living life, and the dirt cracks on his body were also repaired in an instant. In just a moment, Uchiha Madara's body glowed with vitality, and the dirty smell before was no longer there. Ha ha ha. This feeling has been experienced again. This heartbeat is the feeling of life. This feeling of youthful vitality and blood boiling is really wonderful. Finally, revived. Uchiha Madara bit her arm excitedly, feeling the touch of flesh and blood, and laughed like crazy. No longer the cold and proud heroic appearance of before. In Uchiha Madara's excited roar, the Rinnegan in his eyes also shattered into pieces and fell to the ground. Master Madara, please put on this eye first. Black Zetsu, who had been prepared for a long time, immediately dug out the Rinnegan in Orochimaru's pupil, and handed it to Uchiha Madara respectfully. Uchiha Madara was not polite either, reaching out to take Black Zetsu's Rinnegan, and directly stuck it on the empty right eye. The power belonging to White Zetsu's avatar emerged, and within just a breath, Uchiha Madara got used to the right eye, opened it suddenly, and looked at Orochimaru unexpectedly. This Rinnegan is my eye. Say, where is the other eye? Uchiha Madara burst out with a strong momentum, and Orochimaru, who was on the verge of death, questioned. About this, I think it's about 9 tails Jinchuriki. He has incorporated Shao now, so he should have taken it away. Knowing something, Black Zetsu immediately stepped forward and said respectfully. Yes. Then send it to him first. 1 Rinnegan is enough for now. Well, let's make do with this Mangekyo for now. Uchiha Madara glanced at Black Zetsu suspiciously, muttered to himself, stretched out his hand like electricity, took off Orochimaru's Mangekyo left eye, and put it in his empty left eye frame. Master Madara, the current situation is somewhat beyond your expectations. Let's go back and discuss. The reassembled Black-White Zetsu, thinking of the 10-9 tails, stepped forward with a strange expression and said respectfully. Uchiha Madara didn't refuse either, and after agreeing, he followed Black-White Zetsu and left. For Black Zetsu to say that, something must have changed. As for Orochimaru, who was dying with empty eyes, neither of them cared about. Orochimaru, who activates the Rinne Tensai technique, will not live long. Unexpectedly, the end of Sharingan and Wood style turned out to be Rinnegan. Damn Uchiha Madara, Black Zetsu. I will make you pay the price. Orochimaru, who was on the verge of death, said with empty eyes and resentment when he heard that there was no movement. The next moment, Orochimaru's mouth opened, and an upgraded white snake sage ran out of his mouth. Time is running out now, so I can only be forced to reincarnate. Master Orochimaru, I just felt something happened here? Yukushi Kabuto came in a hurry from the outside, and he saw Orochimaru in a state of Japanese phosphorus just halfway through the conversation. I don't have time to look for others. Orochimaru in the state of white phosphorus stared at Yukushi Kabuto, sighed with complex emotions, and directly launched the living corpse reincarnation technique. Master Orochimaru, I am glad to be your container. Together with Lord Orochimaru, I will witness your greatness. The current Yukushi Kabuto, who is still a die-hard Orochimaru fan, accepted Orochimaru's reincarnation without the slightest resistance. I will remember you. Orochimaru thought of the appearance of the big snake pocket in the future, and he sighed slightly, and soon occupied the consciousness space of the pocket. In the next second, Yukushi Kabuto's eyes opened, and a pair of orange snakes appeared in his eye sockets. It's empty again. Is this my destiny? Looking at his original body, Orochimaru sighed indignantly, turned and left here. Konoha Hokage office Seiko, Naruto, Jiraiya, and Kakashi gathered together. You mean, Pushi has just appeared? Sasuke sat on the seat of Hokage, looked at Sasuke solemnly and said. Yes, he just showed up. Just because the target is not me, he retreated early. Naruto, you said before that Urashiki can be solved by yourself. However, I still want to tell you his intelligence. Otsutsuki Urashiki, Pro I have a state of eyes. He can freely switch among the 3 states of white eyes, blue Rinnegan, and red 6-goat jade Rinnegan. It is currently known that the power of his rolling eyes is about the same as that of Hyuga's rolling eyes. The blue Rinnegan, at the moment of being attacked, can transform itself into a few red paper cranes to escape the danger, and appear anywhere around. The red Luguyu Rinnegan can open a black passage and freely travel through space to escape. Pu Shi also has the ability to fly freely and float in the air. He has 2 ninja tools, chakra fishing rod and fishing basket. Fishing rod, which can throw chakra fishing line and hook, can immobilize the opponent and catch the chakra who is pierced. Before my chakra was caught by his hook, this is also his usual attack method. Especially effective against Jinchuriki. Fish basket, you can store the chakra caught in the red light fish basket. In the battle, he can also turn the chakra that he calls out into ninjutsu to increase the power and counterattack back. This has been confirmed in the future battle to defend the crane. The above is all the information of Pu Shi at present. It's not ruled out that he still has some hidden means. Naruto, what are you going to do? Sasuke explained Urashiki's situation seriously, and then turned his attention to Naruto, waiting for his answer. As for the others, after hearing Pu Shi's information, they felt sympathy. Here, rest easy. As I said, leave the Pushi to me. Well, staying in Konoha is too dangerous for the village. After a while, I will leave the village with a high profile and attract Pu Shi to fight outside the village. Naruto looked at the dignified faces, stretched his waist and said slowly. But in this way, if something goes wrong, we will be very passive. Naruto, I'd better go with you. Seiko thought of her own Rinnegan, looked at Naruto with a little worry, and said firmly. Ah, this won't work. You are Lord Hokage now, how can you leave the village at will? I have the flying thunder god technique, it's not that easy to catch. Naruto directly refused, saying that he was still going to have fun with Urashiki. Besides, Seiko now has a full 9 tails in his body. If they go up together, maybe it's food delivery. Then, I'll go first. Seeing that Seiko wanted to say something, Naruto activated the flying thunder god and left here in an instant. Catch this bug. Seiko, who was left on the spot, suddenly trembled with anger, the chakra on his body erupted, and shouted angrily. Perhaps, Naruto really doesn't need our help. However, just in case, I'm going to support him with Jiraiya-sama. Seeing Sako's appearance, Kakashi couldn't help but twitch the corners of his mouth, and suggested to be on the safe side. It looks like Sako's temper, but he gets angry easily when he sees Naruto. Jiraiya nodded in agreement without comment, that's all. Seiko sighed helplessly, and dismissed Jiraiya and Kakashi in a disenchanted manner. Is that guy back? Sasuke slumped on the chair, staring at Sasuke feebly. Well, his chakra was sucked by Pushi. Based on his opinion, I temporarily placed him in the former Uchiha clan land. Sasuke naturally knew what Sasuke asked, and replied in a deep voice. Yes. Then he will leave it to you. Go back and tell my mother that I won't go back to live in these 2 days. Seiko now also has mixed feelings about Uchiha Itachi, so he simply doesn't go home for the time being. Moreover, her current status does not allow her to interact with the Konoha Renin. Then where do you live these 2 days? Sasuke could easily hear Sasuke turning a blind eye, and asked curiously. Me? This. Well, then go and stay at Naruto's house for 2 days. It just so happens that he's not at home these days. Seiko just wanted to avoid meeting Itachi, he didn't think about it at all. Thinking of Naruto leaving the village in a panic, he said casually. As soon as these words came out, not only Zuozi was stunned. Sasuke also looked at Sasuke with his mouth wide open. Damn. How can I say I want to live at Naruto's house? This guy, Seiko, isn't he really interested in Naruto? The two thought to themselves at the same time, but on the surface they both pretended to be calm, showing no flaws. Gate of the Hyuga tribe, Boruto, this is the case with you. Now I'm going out of the village to perform a mission, you can stay here. Along the way, Naruto told Boruto about Momoji parasitism, and the fact that he is Momoji Jinchuriki now. So it is. Dad, you are really amazing. Thank you, I will cherish this power. Boruto stretched out his palm excitedly, looking at the black mark of State 1 on it, and the surging power in his body, he shouted excitedly. The current wedge is Boruto's Otsutsuki plug-in. As long as he continues to grow normally, he will inherit all the power of Dao Shi. Okay, you go back and study slowly. I go first. Naruto patted Boruto's shoulder as a sign of encouragement and turned to leave. And many more. Just after Naruto turned around, a petite figure ran out, shouting timidly. Hinata. Are you alright? Naruto turned his head and saw Hinata with a pretty face and a shy face, standing behind him with fingers entwined nervously, eyes shy, but looking at him unwaveringly. Hey. Mom, come on. I go first. Boruto, who understands something, gave Hinata a thumbs up, smiled and walked away quickly. When Hinata heard Boruto's shout, his face turned red again, and he was about to faint. Although she has made up her mind, Hinata is still shy. Hinata. What do you want? The insightful Naruto could see the meaning at a glance, and asked pretending to be puzzled. If you want to make waves, you can't make mistakes at this critical moment. Hinata looked up at Naruto's handsome and sunny appearance, so shy that a white mist rose above his head, and he was so nervous that he couldn't speak out those belly drafts that had already been typed. Hinata, if there's nothing else, I'm leaving first. I still have work to do. Naruto's eyes flashed brightly, and he expressed his attitude pretendingly. And many more. Naruto-kun. Boruto's identity, you know it. Seeing that Naruto was about to leave, Hinata bit her lips lightly, her eyes flickered with stubbornness, and she blushed and shouted loudly. Certainly. Any questions? Naruto pretended not to understand, so he scratched his head in doubt. That. Now that Naruto-kun knows, then, for Boruto and Sunflower, please date me. The fingers of Hinata's hands almost scratched out afterimages, and she looked at Naruto with a blushing face, with crystals popping out of the corners of her eyes, and the white smoke above her head called out in a delicate voice. After saying this, Hinata seemed to have exhausted all her courage and strength, and fell to the side as soon as her legs gave way. At this moment, Naruto still hesitated, and immediately stepped forward and hugged Hinata, who was almost fainted. Naruto-kun. Lying in Naruto's arms, Hinata blushed, and whispered like a mosquito. I promise you, we'll have Boruto and Sunflower with you, and many more children. Naruto shamelessly changed the concept secretly, looked at Hinata and said softly. Hinata, who was already ashamed, fainted from Naruto's explicit expression. Only the smile on the corner of the mouth proves Hinata's inner happiness. Naruto, Hinata will be left to us. You still go to perform the task. Just when Naruto was about to send Hinata home, Neji gave a dry cough and came out with the two of them. Hyuga Shaw and Hanabi immediately stepped forward to support Hinata and walked towards the clan ground. Naruto could clearly hear the voice of the Hiyashi couple inside the wall. In an instant, Naruto's head was full of black lines, and a group of embarrassing, broke into. It's just a confession. Do you want the whole family to join the battle? Ahem. I still have a task to do, so I will withdraw first. Naruto immediately dropped a sentence, turned around and fled. Just now, he seemed to say that he wanted to have more children. The other party is only a 12-year-old girl, so embarrassing. In the vast forest away from the leaves, a huge nine-tails demon fox, exuding terrifying coercion and chakra, shuttled wantonly between the mountains and forests. With that tyrannical power, within 100 miles, it is the most shining cub. Naruto, hasn't that Urashiki appeared yet? That guy must be blind. Didn't you see such a big movement? Chinchu Yuxi broke out with an unshakable complexion, and complained to Naruto above his head. It's okay. His target is us, there will always be. Naruto lay lazily on top of Chinchu Yuxi's head, holding 1,000 books in his mouth and holding his head in both hands. After he left Konoha, he summoned Chinchu Yuxi to use the simplest method to fish and enforce the law. But for some reason, Pushi's street smart guy just didn't show up. Now, it has been 2 days. Naruto. Otherwise, I'll send a tailed beast bomb to attract Pushi. As long as one shot, that guy is guaranteed to come out. Chinchu Yuxi rolled her fox eyes, raised her eyes to look down at the peaceful forest around her, and said dissatisfied with a little irritability. Anyone who breaks out at chakra for 2 days will not have a good temper. Are you sure you can blow up that guy? Forget it, we have more time. Well, block your ears this way, I'll block the sun. Naruto rejected Chinchu Yuxi's proposal righteously, and continued to lie on his way. Anyway, that guy will definitely show up, so why bother? Chinchu Yuxi was speechless for a moment. Cooperating with you, the kid is here for vacation. But thinking of Pushi's purpose, Chinchu Yuxi still put the two fox ears together honestly to shield Naruto from the sun. This is its backing, it cannot be provoked in the distance. Jiraiya and Kakashi looked at the huge nine-tails demon fox, and they looked at each other. This Naruto is too high profile, Quack quack. Is this the real body of the fox? What a surprise. 9 tails is really a strange monster species. Uzumaki Naruto, finally meeting you. While Naruto was enjoying the sunshine in the sky in front of Qingqiu Yuxi, a dark passage opened, and Pu Shi slowly floated out from it and said with a strange smile. You finally came. Naruto immediately stood up. The Rinnegan was opened instantly, the repulsion of heaven was activated, and flew to the same height, he said with a light smile. And the Qingqiu Yuxi under his feet immediately turned into white smoke and disappeared, returning to Qingqiu Mountain. This is a strategy that Naruto has already formulated, and Qingqiu Yuxi is only responsible for attracting Pu Shi. Tailed beast can't help Urashiki, except to add chakra to the opponent. Gone back already? It doesn't matter, you can just stay here. You are my prey. You really surprised me, Uzumaki Naruto. Actually owning Rinnegan, it seems that I have gained another one this time. Pu Shi thought that 9 tails had returned to Naruto's body, so he didn't rush to pursue it, but looked at Naruto's Rinnegan curiously and greedily, and said longingly. Without further ado. If you regard me as prey, then why are you not my prey? Naruto joked, and stopped talking nonsense, and directly entered Kurama mode. Fox's chakra. When Pu Shi saw the shining golden Naruto, he screamed strangely, and with a flick of the fishing rod chakra hook, he went straight to Naruto. Shenluo Tianzheng. Naruto didn't want to be hooked away. Chakra let out a low drink, the power of his eyes and pupils exploded, and the repulsion instantly knocked off Chakra's hook and Pu Shi. At the moment when Urashi flew away, Naruto looked at one side, and toad eyeshadow appeared in the corner of both eyes. Sage Art Wind Style Rasengan Shuriken. Naruto stretched out his hand, and a huge Rasengan Shuriken instantly took shape in his hand, and he threw it straight at Urashiki. Do you really think he is resting these 2 days? How could Naruto, who knows how to restrain Otsutsuki from immortal art, not use Sage Mode? Copy Namikaze Minato's Sage Mode, although it can be opened in seconds, but the chakra is slow. For the past 2 days, Naruto has been silently accumulating celestial chakra. HMPH, ninjutsu is my tonic. Urashiki looked at the shuriken of Sage Art Wind Style Rasengan who was close at hand, and smiled disdainfully. The red fish basket behind him appeared on his shoulder, and he began to absorb this ninjutsu. However, after absorbing a little bit of Sage Art Wind Style Rasengan shuriken, the red light fish basket, which has tried everything, began to vibrate violently uncontrollably. Pu Shi was taken aback by this situation. His eyes instantly switched to blue Rinnegan, and at the same time, Pu Shiki's pupils trembled, and immediately turned into red thousand paper cranes, flying in all directions at high speed. The next moment, a huge explosion centered on the red light fish basket and projected to the surroundings. A huge mushroom cloud rose in midair. The powerful explosion wind pressure presses down on the sky and the ground with a force of destruction in all directions. Earth-style earth flow wall. Kakashi, who was hiding a little far away, saw the crushed tree wreckage, quickly completed the seal with both hands, pressed the ground and shouted. As Kakashi's words fell, a mud flow wall carved with a dog's head instantly rose from the ground, blocking his Jiraiya. Naruto, when did you learn Mount Myoboku's Sage Mode? Still in a more perfect state than me. Recalling the scene just now, Jiraiya said with a sense of loss. Kakashi opened the Mangekyo Sharingan to observe the battle scene, and frowned slightly after he saw the intact Urashiki. Such a big explosion did not kill the other party. Immediately, Kakashi's heart moved, and he looked at Jiraiya seriously. Master Jiraiya. According to Sasuke's information, the opponent can absorb ninjutsu. But just now, he didn't absorb Naruto's ninjutsu. If so, it proves that. Proof that he cannot absorb the magic chakra. Kakashi, I see. You cover for me, I'll cast Sage Mode, for helping Naruto. Jiraiya is also a ninja who is thick and thin, and immediately understood what Kakashi meant, and quickly sat down cross-legged, clasping his hands together. Kakashi also saw Jiraiya's Sage Mode last time, so he is no stranger to it. Looking around vigilantly, he stared at Urashiki by the way. Kamui Mangekyo Sharingan, ready to go. I didn't expect that you could escape the trick. Is it because of those blue Rinnegans? Naruto of Sage Mode stared at the intact Urashiki, his eyes flickered, and said firmly. Naruto doesn't know much about Urashiki's information. The story of Boruto, Naruto has only seen some exciting plots. That kind of chakra is really dangerous. People on your planet have developed powers that we don't have. Uzumaki Naruto, I am really looking forward to your chakra more and more. Urashiki was not interested in explaining his ability, so he chuckled and attacked Naruto with his fishing rod. His red light fish basket was almost broken in the explosion just now, and now it urgently needs to be repaired by devouring chakra. This is not Boruto legend, it's not popular to fight birds. After Naruto once again hit Higurashi with a divine attack, he quickly formed seals with both hands and stared down at Urashito. Boruto biography. What a mess. Urashiki looked at Naruto strangely, broke his mouth speechlessly, took out a black box and threw it at Naruto. Shisui body flicker technique. Naruto also completed the seal in an instant, and dozens of Naruto appeared around Urashiki at the same time, each holding a Sage Art Wind-style Rasengan, and besieged Urashiki. Time freeze. Urashiki also cast his eyes on Naruto, who had been staring at him just now, and shouted in a low voice. The black box at Naruto's feet quickly emitted thick white smoke, wrapping around Naruto. And on his feet, the white smoke instantly turned into black crystals, and quickly froze from his feet. On the nick of time. This is the sealing technique of sealing Otsutsuki. Naruto recognized this ninjutsu at a glance, and the Rinnegan in the pupil of the left eye instantly changed into Luguyu Samsara Eye. The heavenly hand power from Sasuke is activated instantly, and Shira style switches positions. How could he do this? Pushi looked in horror at the time freezing technique rising rapidly under his feet, and only had time to think about this thought. The blue Rinnegan light flashed, and the time regression was activated. Almost at the same time, Pushi's figure instantly appeared on the other side. Going back in time is exactly one of Pushi Blue Rinnegan's abilities. You can let yourself return from the current time point to the time point a few seconds ago, and experience the enemy's moves many times, so as to see the opponent's moves clearly, so as to choose the safest way to deal with them. The disadvantage is that backtracking time can only reverse the time of the outside world, but cannot reverse the time of itself. The moment Urashiki appeared on one side, dozens of Naruto attacked Urashiki again. In the moment of fighting just now, Pushi already knew how powerful these clones were. He hits the opponent with Phantom Illusion, and the opponent's Rasengan attacks him, which is a real attack. So this time, Urashi directly launched the time reversal. While dodging the attack of Naruto's clone, he took out broken fish and began to devour them. With his current state, there is no way to beat Naruto. Naruto, who was watching secretly, had a flash of brilliance in his eyes, and an ability copy glove appeared in his hand, and he rushed over. Ability copy gloves can not only copy the opponent's ability, but also allow Naruto to know the opponent's information. Just contacting each other, Naruto did it very easily. Name: Otsutsuki Urashiki abilities: Otsutsuki Constitution, Chakra Alchemy, Muji Healing, Levitation. White eyes, Blue Rinnegan, Red 6 Guyu Rinnegan, Gold Rinnegan, Hidden, Crane Form, Hidden. Wangchen Bilyangsaka, Time Retrogression, 1000 Paper Cranes Flashing, and Time Freezing. Rinnegan Coercion, Hidden. Shenluo Tianzhang, Hidden. Heretic Technique, Hidden. Ninjutsu Devour, Hidden. Tying Zubo Purple Light Ball. Jade Box, Hidden. Tying Zubo Purple Light Dragon. Dragon Palace, Hidden. Tying Zubo Meteor Life, Tying Zubo Red Light Ball. The instant the two of them came into contact, Naruto got all of Urashiki's information. In the system of Otsutsuki, there is no concept of art. They use their own powerful strength to activate various special abilities. As for the hidden moves, Naruto also knows the reason. After Otsutsuki devours its own Rinnegan or Chakra Ninja, it will burst into a more powerful force zone. Therefore, there sometimes moves or abilities in different states. It's just that Pushi's reaction was too fast, and the contact between the two was only for a short moment, so Naruto only copied the three abilities of Chakra's Alchemy, Muji Healing, and Floating. Uzumaki Naruto, I admit I underestimated you a bit. I didn't expect you at this age to be even more difficult. It seems that he also has the special ability to copy the abilities of others. It really surprised me. Urashiki, who ate the red fish basket, his whole body's chakra erupted, and the blue Rinnegan stared at Naruto, sighing with emotion like madness. While speaking, Urashiki flicked the fishing rod in his hand and flew towards Naruto at super fast speed. Pushi, you have already lost. Naruto ignored his fishing line, showed a strange smile, and disappeared in place instantly. At the same time, Naruto appeared behind Urashiki, and the Sage Art Wind-style Rasengan Shuriken in his hand hit Urashiki on the back. When the blue Rinnegan opened his eyes wide open, backtracked in time and activated, but still couldn't figure out how Naruto got behind him, and took the blow dumbfounded. Urashiki, who was hit by Sage Art Wind-style Rasengan's Shuriken, flew upside down on the ground like a ragdoll, creating a huge hole. Good chance, Jiraiya, who has activated Sage Mode, and Kakashi, who has opened Kamui's eyes, saw the timing at the same time, and launched attacks one after the other. Sage Art Super Big Ball Rasengan. Jiraiya held a huge Rasengan, hit Nakaurashiki's body and retreated instantly. Kakashi's Kamui followed, using Kamui to disrupt time and space and amplify the Rasengan's power. When the two were added together, the power is doubled immediately. Hateful. I will be back. Pu Shi, who was under the attack storm, looked at his clothes and skin that were smashed, roared, and burst out all the chakra. Arashiki's eyes quickly switched to the red Luguyu Rinnegan, and through the space disturbed by the Kamui pupil technique, Wangchen Hirasaka activated instantly. A black passage appeared under Pu Shi's body, attracting Pu Shi to run quickly. The whole movement is fast, less than a second. This is troublesome. Naruto also appeared at the place where Urashi fled in an instant, and frowned slightly as he looked at a piece of crushed white meat. Flying Thunder God spell. That's how it turned out. I didn't expect to knock down the spell by mistake. Jiraiya followed Naruto's gaze, and after seeing the black spell on it, she instantly understood why Naruto suddenly appeared beside Urashiki. Naruto, didn't you mark with Kamui? Kakashi also looked at the Flying Thunder God spell and asked with a frown. I thought the Flying Thunder God spell was enough, so I didn't use the Kamui mark. Well, forget it. He will definitely come back, and he will definitely be dealt with next time. Naruto cancelled Kurama mode and Sage mode, and said indifferently. Pu Shi can't escape his palm. Jiraiya and Kakashi looked at each other, and had no choice but to accept this fact. When the three of them were talking, on the top of the mountain not far away, Uchiha Madara and Black Zetsu were also dumbfounded. After Uchiha Madara learned that Naruto had 10 nine tails, she brought Black Zetsu over to investigate the information, to see if she could recover the 9 tails directly. Then, they were drawn to the battle of Naruto and Urashiki, and saw the double pair of Rinnegan fighting. Uchiha Madara is surprised and excited by Naruto in the Rinnegan of unknown existence. Naruto's Rinnegan, and possibly Uchiha Madara's own. But that man's Rinnegan is worth Uchiha Madara's interest. As for Black Zetsu, he was simply shocked by the Otsutsuki aura on Urashiki. In this world, how can there be a breath similar to Kagaya? Black Zetsu. I thought that after Hashirama's death, there were no more enemies in the ninja world that I could get excited about. Unexpectedly, I bumped into 2 people today. Nine Tails Jinchuriki is temporarily abandoned, we will recover other tailed beasts first. Activate the white Zetsu clone, and find that guy. Uchiha Madara took a deep look at Naruto's direction, groaned, turned and left. Yes, Lord Madara. Black Zetsu followed behind Uchiha Madara with twinkling eyes and solemnly agreed. Knowing that Naruto has activated Kurama mode, Black Zetsu naturally disclosed this information to Uchiha Madara. Therefore, under the blessing of the sealing technique, even Naruto in Kurama mode did not perceive the evil thoughts of the two of them. Somewhere in the land of fire a pitch-black hole suddenly opened, and Pu Shi, who was seriously injured, walked out of it. At present, the only way to recover other tail beasts is to strengthen chakra and then recover the foxes. Well, the good stuff always stays at the end. Then, let's start with that civet cat. But before that, it is still necessary to absorb some chakra to recover from the injury. Pu Shi, who looked miserable, muttered to himself with a strange smile, his body floated in the air, and flew towards the land of winds at a low altitude. What? How could there be a fox chakra in that place? After flying at low altitude for most of the day, Pu Shi seemed to feel something. A trace of doubt appeared on his face, and his eyes showed excitement and flew towards the place he sensed. Soon, the quaint temple of Riza appeared in front of Pu Shiki. And in the middle of the courtyard, a young man whose whole body is covered with 9 tails chakra is trying his best to suppress the power of the explosion. Around the young man, there are more than a dozen monks waiting in full battle. Kong, you have to firmly believe in your heart. Don't let yourself be lost by power again. The abbot of the Temple of Fire, Lulu, looked seriously at the space wrapped by the 9 tails chakra, squeezed the seal with his hands, and shouted nervously. Master Lulu, quickly help me suppress its power. I can't hold on any longer. Kong, whose will was eroded by 9 tails chakra, forcibly suppressed the tyranny in his heart, dilated his pupils, and begged loudly with his fists clenched. Hateful. After the last riot, he shouldn't have been left behind. Yeah, that kind of power can't be suppressed even if we work together. The monks around Lulu stared at Kong with disgust and commented. 2 years ago, Kong exploded once, causing the Temple of Fire to suffer heavy losses. Not only destroyed the gate of the Temple of Fire, which was said to have never been breached, and sealed the iron wall, but also almost destroyed the Temple of Fire in the surrounding villages. This outbreak, I don't know what will lead to it. Just when everyone was about to fight among themselves, a red chakra line dropped from the sky and shot into Kong's chest instantly. Immediately afterwards, a large group of fiery red chakra was pulled out from Kong's body. Quack quack. I'm really lucky. There are so many fox chakra. Pu Shi stretched out his hand and grabbed the big group of chakra, quickly refined it into a pill, stuffed it into his mouth and laughed. In the next moment, Pu Shi's miserable body quickly healed and recovered. In just 2 or 3 seconds, Urashiki regained his previous Otsutsuki style. It's just the chakra in the body, not as strong as before. You, who are you? Delu glanced at Kong, who was lying on the ground breathing calmly, stared warily at Pu Shiki floating in midair and asked nervously. Well, it seems that you also have extraordinary power. Pu Shi didn't pay attention to Delu's questioning. Instead, he saw the unique fairy talent chakra in Delu, and shouted excitedly. In front of Pu Shi, Ji Lu had no resistance at all and was hooked away by chakra. Pu Shi did not let go of the other monks either. Well, now we can go find the civet cat. Feeling the chakra in his body, Pu Shi quickly rose in satisfaction, and a dark hole slowly appeared around him, and he got in. The monks who were sucked away by chakra were left behind, howling on the ground. Otsutsuki Urashiki, don't even bother to kill them. Ura-style Wangchen Hirasaka can also be used in the state of rolling eyes. It's just not as fast and quick as the red 6-hook Jade Rinnegan. Sanagakure, from now on, I am 5th Kazekage of San Shinobi. In the name of Kazekage, I will protect the 2nd district of Sanagakure. Tamari, wearing a Kazekage hat and a Kazekage white robe, stood on top of the building and announced Hockey. Master Kazekage, Master Kazekage. Everyone in the audience shouted enthusiastically and excitedly. Chio and the other San Shinobi elders looked at Tamari very wonderfully. None of them expected that the slap in the face would come so quickly. With just one quest, Tamari has what it takes to defeat Baki. In front of everyone in San Shinobi, he defeated Baki lightly and fulfilled the previous agreement. This caught the elders of thousands of generations by surprise. But the words have been spoken, plus Gaara's persecution, and the precedent of Konoha's 12-year-old 5th Hokage. They could only pinch their noses to recognize it. Of course, this is a case of Tamari deliberately concealing that she is the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. Otherwise, Elder San Shinobi can wake up with a smile when he sleeps, so there is no objection. Currently, only Gaara knows about Tamari. Just when everyone in San Shinobi was enthusiastic, a dark hole suddenly appeared in the sky above Mioin. This change made San Shinobi executives stunned at the same time. In the next moment, the proud Pu Shi slowly emerged from the dark hole, his aura exploded, and he looked at Gaara with indifferent white eyes. Civet cat, do you come out by yourself, or let me pull you out? Urashiki stared at Gaara condescendingly, and shouted arrogantly. For Gaara and Shutsuru, Urashina is very confident. In the future time and space, it's not like he hasn't played before. What's more, this younger Gaara, that's not a pinch. Want Shukaku from our San Shinobi, another arrogant guy? Looking at your eyes, could it be Konoha's Hyuga clan? Konoha is now an ally of San Shinobi. Are you trying to provoke the relationship between the two villages? Tamari, who just succeeded 5th Kazekage, immediately erupted in chakra and questioned Pu Shi in the sky. What? Why do you smell like foxes? Is it the same guy as before? Forget it. Let's recycle the civet cat first. Pu Shi clearly felt the power of 9 tails in Tamari chakra, and after muttering to himself in doubt, he threw the fishing rod in his hand directly at Gaara. It's raining constantly. Gaara saw that the opponent was attacking him, quickly dodged the opponent's fishing line, clapped his hands, and shouted in a low voice. Although Gaara doesn't know the function of the fishing line, it is the most basic ninja common sense not to be attacked by the opponent. In an instant, countless round sand bullets emerged from Gaara's feet, like machine guns, and shot towards Pu Shi in the sky densely. At the same time, a sand table instantly formed under Gaara's feet, leading him towards the outside of the village at high speed. The other party dared to provoke Shukaku, and it must not be a simple character. Gaara still remembers that Naruto let him see the battle scene where the Akatsuki organization captured one tail. Staying in the village will only make him tied up. Gaara bursting out at full strength, the speed is as fast as a shooting star. Around Pu Shi, also after being stunned for a moment, he grinned strangely and chased after him. The current Gaara and Shutsuru don't know the existence of Otsutsuki. The information Naruto gave them was only up to one tail Shukaku being pulled into the 10 tails golem by Uchiha. Elder Chio, you stay in the village to protect the villagers, and I will go to support Gaara. When Tamari saw this scene, The chakra on his body exploded, and with a yell, he quickly chased him out like lightning. In Tamamo mode, she can only use it for a short 1 or 2 minutes. It's better to borrow Tamamo's chakra to fight, more durable high school. That is. How did Otsutsuki find it so quickly? Ioka Tamamo in Temari's body, seeing Urashiki's appearance, instantly went numb, and exclaimed with sweat on his forehead. Among its shared memories of Kurama is brief intel on the trio of Otsutsuki. However, the time of the other party seems to be 20 years later. How come? It's the time now. However, now is not the time to think about this. Before the other party knows its existence, call for support as soon as possible. Tamari, that enemy, is very powerful. You summon Naruto quickly, there is no chance if you are late. Chingchu Yuzao didn't have time to explain, and hurriedly shouted at Tamari. It really surprises me that there are enemies you fear. I get it, Tamamo. Ninja Shadow Clone Technique. Tamari, who was running fast, heard Yuzao's reminder. A trace of solemnity flashed in his eyes, his hands were sealed, and he shouted. With a bang, a shadow clone appeared beside her, rushing towards her home in the village. Because today is Kazecage's succession ceremony, Tamari, who was wearing Kazekage robe, did not carry Naruto's flying thunder god kunai with him. Well, shadow clone is taught by Naruto to Tamari for better ball rolling. Gaara, you have to be careful. I feel that guy is not easy. Shuzuru saw Urashiki, who was chasing after him through Gaara, felt a sense of fear for some reason, and reminded him. Yes? Then, let us deal with him together. Gaara, who quickly flew out of Sand Shinobi, had a strange look in his eyes, and said solemnly. Immediately, the chakra coat on his body appeared, and the whole person's state changed, and he directly turned on the crane guarding mode. Oh quack quack. In this past world, you can use this state? It's really interesting. Urashiki looked at Gaara, whose appearance had changed drastically, licked his lips and laughed, and threw the fishing rod in his hand at Gaara again. With a single wave of Gaara's hand, a wave of sand tens of meters high rises from Gaara's body, rushing towards Poo-shi overwhelmingly. The Poo-style fishing line and himself, under the sand like ocean waves, were instantly annihilated and swallowed like duckweed. Sand waterfall burial. Gaara saw the timing right, pressed his hands on the sand, a bloodlust flashed in his eyes, and shouted in a low voice. The moment his voice fell, the sand wave in front of him suddenly shrank and squeezed towards the inside. Is it done? Shuhei also attached to Gaara, staring at Shaling and whispering. Should. Gaara responded with a calm expression, but only said 2 words, and a red chakra fishing line quickly flew out from the sand waves. Gaara, who was always vigilant, quickly changed her position, and at the same time controlled the sand to form dozens of sand ropes to block the fishing line. In the sand waves, after a dazzling white light flashed, Poo-shi appeared in front of Gaara again. What a terrifying opponent. To be able to survive the great funeral in the sand waterfall. Gaara let out a low cry with a solemn face, and made a mudra with his hands. The sand around him trembled, and sandpills the size of pebbles emerged around him. The dense sandpills are as numerous as stars. Sand shot. Gaara yelled loudly, the chakra on his body exploded, and countless sand pellets shot towards Poo-shi like bullets at a speed exceeding the speed of sound. It's not over yet. Wind style. Wind-killing formation. Tamari, who rushed over quickly, waved the 3-star fan in his hand, and shouted heroically. Immediately, a vacuum airflow wrapped countless sand bullets in it, and carried out indiscriminate knife-cut attacks. And because of the increase in wind style, the power and speed of sand bullets doubled again. Back in time. Faced with such a dense and fast attack, Arashiki unhurriedly activated the blue Rinnegan and launched a time-backward attack to avoid the attack. Tamari and Gaara saw Arashiki flashing around strangely in the sand bullets like a shape-shifting shadow, but they didn't hurt him at all. Tamari, let me meet Shuzuru. Tamamo looked at the pair of blue Rinnegans, a look of fear flashed in the fox's eyes, and he yelled at Tamari. Tamari didn't ask much after hearing the words, and stretched out his hand to pat Gaara's body. After a breath. I understand, sister, I'm going to start. Gaara took a heavy breath, and stared at Poo-shiki, who had already dodged fearfully, and the chakra coat on her body shrank rapidly. Tamamo, let's begin. Tamari also clasped his hands together, gave a low drink and said solemnly. In an instant, a chakra coat similar to that of Naruto appeared on Temari's body. Tamamo mode belonging to Tamari, start instantly. At the same time, Gaara quickly completes the tail beast transformation, and one-tail Shuhei directly enters the stage. And Tamari stood on the top of the crane, and chakra, which belonged to Tamamo, was activated. In just 2 breaths, Shuhei, wearing the 9 tails chakra coat, appeared in front of Pushiki. This is Tomomo's plan based on Susan 9 tails. At this time, Temari and Gaara have not yet developed their own strongest ninjutsu. Only the combination of the two can barely compete with Otsutsuki, delaying time and waiting for Naruto to come to support. This is not as simple as 1+1, the super strong chakra storm broke out with Shuhei as the center. Even if it is as strong as Pushi, he will be blown back again and again. However, at this time, Pushi was not angry at all, but rather pleasantly surprised. Blunt, you guys really gave me a big surprise. It seems that there was not only one fox in this past world. Today is really going to be a bumper harvest. Pushi gazed greedily at the tall Shuzuru Tomomo, reached out and plucked out his eyes and ate them, and began to change his shape. Just relying on the current state, but can't beat the opponent. He even ate his own eyes. How is this going? Temari looked at Urashiki, who was behaving abnormally with a face of horror, and exclaimed. Do not mind him. Listen to me, everyone use your strength together. Yuzao looked at Pushi, who had eaten his eyes and slowly entered the transformation of the light gate, quickly urged, and the tailed beast bomb condensed in his mouth. At this time, Shuhei is also cooperating with Yuzao to condense the tailed beast bomb together, adding power to Yuzao's tailed beast bomb. Magnet-style tailed beast Rasengan. Temari also uses the boost of Tomomo mode, and the power of Shuzuru's magnet-style seal, to use her strongest attack now. Gaara is in the body of the crane because of the animalization of the tail of the crane. After all, not all perfect Jinchuriki's tailed beast is the chakra state of 9 tails. Roar. Drink. The moment Pushi passed through the gate of light, the huge tailed beast bomb carrying magnet-style Rasengan collided head-on. Pushi, after the transformation, the golden pupils in his pupils trembled, and he stretched out his hand to cover his chest, which belonged to Rinnegan pressure, bursting out instantly. The two forces collided in midair just like the end of the world. The tyrannical chakra storm and repulsive air pressure were violently output in all directions. The aftermath of the powerful attack, even Sanagakure, who is several miles away, was also affected. Quack quack. Thank you so much for giving me chakra as soon as I transformed. Pushi stretched out his hand to counteract the tailed beast bomb, smiled triumphantly, opened his mouth to reveal a hole, and began to absorb the power of the tailed beast bomb. Tomomo, Shuzuru, Temari, and Gaara, who watched this operation, were stunned. The powerful tailed beast bomb, the opponent can actually absorb it? What a terrifying enemy this is. Quickly absorbing tailed beast bomb and magnet-style Rasengan Ura-style, with a wave of both hands, the huge chakra black stick shot at Shutsuru Tomomo very quickly. Urashi, who has evolved into the form of a crane, can already use the abilities of Shenluo Tianjung and Devouring Ninjutsu, and can also use the outsider technique to make various forms of black stick ninjas. This is a must-have ninja tool for restraining tailed beasts and Jinchuriki. Quickly rewind. Yuzao gave a quick reminder, and Shuhei hurriedly jumped away from the spot to avoid the attack of Chakra's black stick. However, when Pushi entered the crane form, the speed of physical skills increased several times. Appeared in the area where Shuhei escaped almost instantly, and threw out several chakra black sticks. Seeing this, Yuzao immediately used Chakra's hand to resist. But in the face of the chakra black stick that restrains the power of the tailed beast, it has no effect at all. Chakra's black stick was still inserted into Shuhei's body. In an instant, Shuzuru and Tamizao felt Chakra's confusion, and their bodies could not move for a moment. Temari and Gaara are in a similar situation. Quack quack. Tanuki and Fox Chakra can now be recycled. After absorbing all of you, I can go find Uzumaki Naruto. Pushiji looked at Shuhei and Tomomo proudly and smiled triumphantly. The fishing rod in his hand reappeared and he threw it towards them. Just at this critical moment, a voice suddenly sounded. At the front end of the chakra hook, there was a burst of space distortion, and the Pooh-style fishing line and hook were instantly pulled into the Kamui space. In the next moment, a golden figure appeared above Shohei's head. Uzumaki Naruto. Pushi looked at the person coming, his golden pupils shrank, and he said with a tyrannical expression. Are you all right? By the way, who came up with the idea of Shuhei wearing a 9-tails coat? Naruto, standing on top of Shukaku, ignored Urashiki's tyranny, looked at Temari and the others and laughed. Tomomo. Naruto, hurry up and help us pull out these black rods. Let's deal with this guy together. That guy is awesome. Seeing that Naruto still had the air conditioner teasing them, Temari couldn't help shouting anxiously. Don't worry, it's enough for him to leave it to me alone. Just watch from the side. Naruto glanced at those chakra black sticks, and didn't take out the chakra black sticks for them immediately. Damn ants. You actually ignored me, Lord Urashiki. When Urashiki saw Naruto appearing, he ignored him, shouted furiously, and attacked Naruto. Why? Turned into a birdman and has a bad temper. Distinguished heavenly gods. Naruto teased and launched an illusion sneak attack without hesitation. This time, he wants to take Urashiki for his own use and get specific information about the Otsutsuki clan. Boring trick. Pushi, who was launching an attack, suddenly paused, his golden eyes flashed violently, he snorted coldly with disdain, and rushed towards Naruto at top speed again. Mangekyo's ultimate pupil technique, it doesn't work. Naruto stared at Urashimichi in embarrassment, Shinra Tianjong activated instantly, and bounced Urashiki away with one blow. A lowly creature who stole the power of Otsutsuki, still wants to defeat me with such a move? Pushi gave a cold snort of disdain, and with a move with both hands, hundreds of densely packed chakra black sticks materialized and burst towards Naruto. Seeing such dense chakra black sticks, Naruto's heart skipped a beat. After dodging a few moves hastily, he was still hit by the black sticks and couldn't move his whole body. Naruto, Naruto. Seeing this situation, Shuzuru and Temari shouted in fear. Only Yuzao's eyes flashed a strange color, and he looked at Pushi in silence. Ha ha ha. Uzumaki Naruto, you are still in my hands. Your chakra, I accept it. Urashiki laughed wildly and flicked the fishing rod. The red chakra line in the hook reappeared, piercing straight into Naruto's body. Then when the fishing rod was retracted, Pushi looked at the empty hook and was a little confused. There is no chakra? Pusichi murmured to himself in doubt, and his figure appeared in front of Naruto in an instant like a ghost, and his palms grabbed Naruto. The moment Pushi's palm touched Naruto, several golden chakra chains suddenly emerged from Naruto's body, directly binding Pushi tightly. Even if the adamantine sealing chains with sealing power were as strong as Pushi, they were bound for half a second. Naruto, who had been prepared for a long time, shot like lightning, and instantly dug out the golden Rinnegan on Pushi's forehead with lightning speed. In the next instant, Pushi burst out. Chakra broke free from Naruto's adamantine sealing chains, and retreated dozens of meters. Damn guy, unexpectedly. Losing Rinnegan's Pushi, the golden eyes of the eyes changed to the original white eyes, and the crane form was forced to fade, and transformed into the appearance before Pushi. Unreconciled, Pushi roared and ate the fishing rod containing chakra, and gradually stabilized his strength. Right now, he only has a pair of supercilious eyes. I told you, you are my prey. I can't leave you with those white eyes. Naruto casually threw the golden Rinnegan into the storage space, and rushed towards Urashiki without fear. Just now, he was using Obito's Kamui Hollow, pretending to be hit by a black stick. Now, without Rinnegan's Pushi, it's fish on the cutting board, ready to be slaughtered. Not good, run away. Seeing this situation, Pushi could only hold back his anger and quickly flew away. At the same time, Urashiki mobilized Wangchen Hirasaka to manifest in front of him. It's just that Huang Quan's speed is a little slower than Liangsaka's in the state of rolling his eyes. Don't try to escape. The Kamui Mangekyo in Naruto's eyes emerged, looked at the dark passage, and activated Kamui to distort time and space. In his hand, he also quickly threw a flying Thunder God Kunai and flew towards Pushi. Just when Naruto was about to launch the flying Thunder God technique, he suddenly sensed something, and his body flashed to the side. At the same time, a chakra black stick appeared out of nowhere from the ground, attacking and killing Naruto. Blind eyes. Naruto used the hollow ability again, and after ignoring the chakra black stick, his eyes immediately switched to the state of white eyes, looking around. Suddenly, Naruto looked up at Urashiki. His Kamui just now was interrupted by the sudden attack. Pushi had already opened the space channel, and jumped into it. To Naruto's surprise, a familiar figure rushed into the black hole after him. Uchiha, Madara. Looking at the rapidly disappearing black hole, Naruto exclaimed with a strange expression on his face. The escaped Black Zetsu actually got Uchiha Madara out. This situation was unexpected by Naruto, however, these are not important. Importantly, Uchiha had his eyes on Urashiki. This is a bit interesting. For the two people who disappeared, Naruto is not worried about anything. This time he learned the lesson from last time and left the Kamui mark on Urashiki. As long as he wanted, he could go to them anytime. However, how can such a fun thing disturb them now? Just as they continue to ruin their own destiny, Naruto will never lose anyway. This is the confidence to own Doraemon. However, why is there no prompt for Uchiha's resurrection? Doesn't the indirect change count? Naruto thought about this question, turned his head and flew towards Shuzuru and the others. He copied Urashiki's floating ability, and is also an existence that can fly freely. Universal pull. Naruto returned to Shuzuru Tamazao, and with a one-handed move, Chakra's black stick was pulled out by him. Without the influence of the black stick, Shuzuru and Tamamo immediately separated and became themselves again. Naruto, has he run away? Why is that guy showing up now? After Tamamo was freed, she looked at Naruto and asked with a frown. Shuzuru also looked at Naruto anxiously, full of worry. Just now, he has learned about the existence of Otsutsuki through Tamamo. This is a long story. Let's go back and talk about it. But don't worry, I'll take care of him. Naruto, who had the winning ticket in his hands, looked at Shuzuru and Tamamo and explained with a smile. Knowing the existence of Doraemon, Tamamo instantly recovered her previous lazy state of mind when she heard Naruto's guarantee. But Shuhei was in a panic at this time. It doesn't know the existence of Doraemon. Tamari, congratulations on becoming 5th Kazekage. Then Naruto cast his eyes on the dignified Tamari and sincerely congratulated him. Hey. In the future, you may be able to experience being a man of Kazekage. Naruto, can you do me a favor? Please, help me and Gaara grow up quickly. Tamari looked up at Naruto, begging with gritted teeth. The battle just now made Tamari very insecure. No problem. We're all family, it's nothing. Naruto thought it was something. With a strange look in his eyes, he agreed. He worked so hard to help them in their special training, it's normal to stay overnight. By the way, let's take another nap at Kazekage, it's not too much. Then I'll thank you for Gaara. Shohei, who lacked a sense of security, suddenly brightened his eyes, thanked him happily, and took the initiative to disperse the tailed beast. I'm sorry, Naruto. After Gaara appeared, she also followed Jung-sei. Not big or small, what is it called, Naruto-jin? I will call him brother-in-law from now on. Tamari, who was in a good mood, also showed a free and easy smile at this time, patted Gaara on the head, and shouted dissatisfied. She had wanted to educate this Jinchuriki brother for a long time. And Gaara was also a little confused by Temari's slap. Ever since he was a child, no one has dared to treat him like this. However, I think of Temari's current strength, and Naruto's brother-in-law. Gaara still resolutely confessed. Fire Nation Frontier. A pitch-black passage opened suddenly, and Pu Shi with an ugly face quickly came out of it, staring cautiously behind him. Almost at the moment when Pu Shi turned around, a man in a red armor came out from inside. It turned out to be a Rinnegan. It seems that my luck is not too bad. After seeing Uchiha Madara's Rinnegan, Arashiki's expression turned into joy, and he shouted greedily. As long as he captures this Rinnegan, he can make up for some losses. I want to know, who are you? Your strength is totally different from ordinary ninjas. Uchiha Madara stared at Urashiki indifferently, a trace of confusion flashed in his eyes, and asked in a cold voice. Uchiha Madara didn't expect that when he came to Sand Shinobi to capture One-Tail Shukuru, he would encounter the battle between Urashiki and Naruto. Seeing that Urashiki was about to be captured alive by Naruto, Uchiha Madara immediately gave up catching the tail beast and helped Uchiha escape from the battlefield. Well, there's a reason why Naruto is so hard to deal with. Quack quack. You're just a lowly native stealing the power of Otsutsuki, talking so loudly. You're Rinnegan, I've recovered. Urashiki, who considers himself noble, was annoyed by Uchiha Madara's attitude. Grinningly, he stretched out his hand and grabbed Uchiha Madara's eyes. Wheel Tomb Border Prison. Uchiha Madara still stared at Urashi coldly, let out a low drink, and did not move like a mountain. Pu Shi, who was attacking forward, suddenly seemed to be hit hard, and his body flew backwards in an instant. Hateful. After Pu Shi was knocked out, he roared and rushed up again. However, his body was blown out again. Then, there was a minute-long continuous attack. The existence of the Shadow Madara, without Rinnegan's Pu Shi, can't be seen at all. Now, can you tell me? Otsutsuki, where have I heard this surname? Uchiha Madara looked at Urashiki, who fell on the ground vigilantly, and asked again with indifferent eyes. Damn fellow. You pissed me off. Pu Shi roared unwillingly, stretched out his hand, removed his left arm, and stuffed it into his mouth. The Otsutsuki family, a family that plundered chakra with the intention of becoming gods. Their bodies, after being nourished by chakra dan for many years, can replenish the existence of chakra. This is why the Otsutsuki clan can devour each other and sacrifice 10 tails. The current Pu Shi, although there is not much chakra in the body, as long as he swallows his own body, he can get a lot of chakra supplements. Chakra devours. Uchiha Madara saw Pushi's action, although he didn't know the mystery, but he still caught Pushi's ability to launch Hungry Kido like lightning. In the blink of an eye, Uchiha Madara absorbed chakra, who was recovering quickly. Damn. Pushi was cut off by Uchiha Madara's beard, so angry that he couldn't speak. Did he mutilate himself just to make you full? This chakra is simply wonderful. My pupil power also seems to have increased. Uchiha Madara was shocked by this pure chakra instantly, staring at Pushi feeling greedily. I've lost my patience with you. Illusion Mangekyo Sharingan. Uchiha Madara stared at Uchiha eagerly and let out a low drink. The Mangekyo in his left eye flashed scarlet, which belonged to Uchiha's illusion. Uchiha Madara, who had already lost chakra and did not have the blessing of Rinnegan, only persisted for 2 seconds before being broken by Uchiha Madara's illusion and reading his information. In an instant, Uchiha Madara's complexion became ugly. He not only read the basic information of Otsutsuki Urashiki from it, but also knew the existence of Kagaya, Momoshiki, Kinshiki, and Ichishiki. At the same time, Uchiha Madara also realized that he will fail in the future based on the fragmentary information in the future. It's just that Urashiki doesn't know the details, let alone Uchiha Madara. Just when Uchiha Madara wanted to read Otsutsuki's information in depth, a pair of eyes as vast as the starry sky emerged, and Uchiha Madara's illusion was instantly broken. At the same time, Uchiha Madara's spirit was also severely damaged and slumped. Pushi was even worse. He fell to the ground bleeding from his 7 orifices, not knowing whether he was alive or dead. As that, Otsutsuki's protection? What a terrifying strength. I originally thought that this world was so small that it was barely enough for me to toss about alone. Unexpectedly, I turned out to be just a grain of sand. Cough cough cough. However, this is more interesting. Hehe, Otsutsuki. Uchiha Madara, who was slumped on the ground, was talking to himself in amazement, and the expression on his face was wonderful. Sacrifice to each other, let the 10 tails sacred tree blossom and bear fruit, and get real power. Otsutsuki Urashiki, then let you be my strength. After resting for a while, Uchiha Madara stared at Uchiha, who didn't know whether he was alive or dead, and slowly made a seal with his hands. Uchiha Madara completed the knot seal and shouted with one hand on the ground. With a bang, the bony 10 tails golem appeared at the feet of Uchiha Madara. As soon as the 10 tails golem appeared, Uchiha Madara manipulated the golem and grabbed Urashiki's body and stuffed it into his mouth. As the 10 tails golem chewed, the huge chakra quickly filled the body of the 10 tails golem. Although the 9 eyes of the 10 tails golem only opened a gap, it was still opened. 6 paths 10 tails coffin prints. Seeing the rapidly changing 10 tails golem, Uchiha Madara didn't hesitate anymore, and said in a low voice with one-handed seal. In the next moment, the rapidly expanding 10 tails golem sucked back into Uchiha Madara's body like a dragon sucking water. With 10 tails all absorbed, Uchiha Madara's appearance changed dramatically. Uchiha Madara's long hair, for pure white. On his body, a white windbreaker similar to that of Pooh style appeared. It's just that on the top, there is a black hook jade that is different from the Pooh style. On the forehead, there are also double horns like a forehead protector, similar to Pushi. This is Uchiha Madara's 10 tails Jinchuriki status. The difference from the original is that there is no manifestation of the 9 truth-seeking balls. After all, the 10 tails golem just absorbed Urashiki, not the 9 tails. That's the only way to prevent the 9 tails Jinchuriki from summoning the 10 tails golems. Now, it's Chakra who is slowly reclaiming the tailed beast. At least this way, you don't have to recycle in order. 6 paths Madara felt the strength of her body and sighed helplessly. In his current state, his strength has not improved much. Going to deal with Naruto now, Uchiha Madara is really a bit out of control. Knowing about Otsutsuki's information, Uchiha Madara learned about Naruto's difficulty. Master Madara. How did you become 10 tails Jinchuriki? Black Zetsu, who came belatedly, saw the appearance of 6 paths Madara, and exclaimed with ignorant eyes. Madara's change caught Black Zetsu by surprise. There was a little surprise. Black Zetsu now searched for traces of the islander-tailed beast. Starting from the single-tailed beast, recovering the tailed beast. Uchiha Madara still doesn't know the details of Black Zetsu, so the arrangement is the same as before. Yes, Lord Madara. Black Zetsu, who didn't understand the inside story, agreed with a heavy heart. As long as Uchiha Madara activates Infinite Tsukuyomi, that's his time to revive his mother Kagaya. The current change does not seem to be a bad thing. Thinking of this, Black Zetsu's mood changed instantly, and he felt beautiful. Another big step away from the resurrection of the mother. I'm going back first, you go to collect information about the tailed beast. Uchiha Madara, eager to study the power of Otsutsuki, and Mangekyo Sharingan of the left eye, instantly turned white-eyed. Uchiha Madara's Wangchen Bilyangsaka, which belongs to the Ura style, was launched. After the passage was stabilized, Uchiha Madara drilled directly into it and disappeared. Tip. Change the parallel world Otsutsuki Ura style fate track, get 10,000 Honkai points. Tip. Change Uchiha Madara's life course and get 100,000 Honkai points. Naruto, who was rubbing Kazekage Maruko, was stunned by the sudden prompt. I haven't killed or captured Pushi yet, how can there be rewards for Honkai points? And, what about Uchiha Madara? Naruto's eyes flickered in surprise, and Kamui's eyes appeared in the eye sockets. Sure enough, the Kamui mark disappeared. Looks like something unexpected happened. Uchiha Madara, I'm not ashamed to be you. Naruto couldn't sense the Kamui mark left on Urashiki's body, so he said firmly in his heart. Naruto. What's wrong with you? A certain Kazekage-sama felt Naruto's stop motion, and immediately trembled dissatisfied. Naruto, who was thinking wildly, his consciousness was pulled back to the right track in an instant, and he continued to push forward with the unity of waist and horse. Now is not the time to think about those things. After half a day, Naruto transplanted Obito's Kamui eyes and hollow eyes for Temari to ensure her safety, and left on the pretext of something. Special training, talk about it in 2 days. Konoha Hokage Office Seiko, Jiraiya, Kakashi, Sasuke, Boruto, all in one place. Pushi, I have already killed you, you can go back now. Here, after all, is not your era. Naruto said to Sasuke and Boruto in front of everyone. Killed? Dad, you are amazing. Mr. Sasuke, we can go home. Boruto was taken aback for a moment, and then jumped up in cheers. Konoha in the past few days is very fun, but the incompatibility of this world still makes Boruto miss the future time and space very much. In that case, let's set off tonight. A trace of reluctance flashed in Sasuke's eyes, and after a moment of pondering, he said frankly. Unlike Boruto, Sasuke still recognizes this, the world with families. Well, then go back and say goodbye. Sasuke knew Sasuke's state of mind very well, looked at the two of them and said tactfully. Then I'm leaving first. I'm going to say goodbye to Mom and them. Boruto dropped a word in a hurry, turned around and ran away. Sasuke looked at Boruto's back, and the corners of his mouth couldn't help twitching. These 2 days, he already knew that Boruto told Hinata and others about his life experience. The only thing that reassures Sasuke is that Boruto did not reveal the marital status of other people. Well, including himself too. Cough cough. I'm going home first. Under the strange eyes of Seiko, Kakashi, Jiraiya and others, Naruto coughed dryly, activated the Flying Thunder God technique and disappeared. Not good. Zuozi suddenly thought of something, her pretty face blushed, and she also left in an instant. Jiraiya and Kakashi are looking at each other, what's the matter? Only Sasuke had a strange look in his eyes. But he knew that Seiko was staying at Naruto's house these 2 days. At the same time Naruto, who returned home, looked at the cool clothes with different styles in the room, and was a little dazed for a while. Looking at the size of the clothes, it is neither a big Tsunade nor a small Sakura, let alone white. Could it be that Hinata is here? Are you so active in order to have a baby? A trace of evil flashed across Naruto's eyes, and he stared at those cool clothes. Well, as expected of the future big Hinata, this scale is really not small. Naruto, close your eyes. While Naruto was admiring the beautiful scenery, Seiko rushed in from outside suddenly, and shouted tenderly with a blushing face. Her body flicker technique, compared with Flying Thunder God's speed, is still a lot worse. Yay. Naruto looked over in a daze, and just about to ask something, he saw Seiko quickly put away his clothes and hid behind him. I just stayed at your house for 2 days, you are not allowed to think about it. Super idiot. Seiko pretended to be calm and arrogant, but subconsciously dodged Naruto's suspicious eyes. Then what? I'm leaving first, you can't tell anyone about this. Seeing Naruto's eyes, Seiko felt a little guilty, dropped a word, chakra erupted at his feet, and left in a hurry. Unexpectedly, it was Seiko. In other words, this guy's aesthetics are very special. Looking at the back of Seiko running away in a hurry, Naruto thought with emotion. But in the next moment, Naruto reacted. He took aim, he just now. Hateful. I woke up this morning and forgot about it. It's all Naruto's fault, he came back suddenly today. After Seiko escaped from Naruto's house, he said angrily with shame on his face. She also doesn't want to wash and dry clothes at Naruto's house, but she can't hide some facts about her body now. Well, she's on her period these 2 days. Evening. Then we're going back. Goodbye everyone. Sasuke brought Boruto to the place where they arrived before, and said emotionally to the few people who saw him off. Because they were given time to say goodbye to their families. So, only Naruto, Jiraiya, and Kakashi came to see us off. Seiko didn't come over because of some things. Go. Remember to bring my gift with you. Naruto stood in front of the crowd and smiled at Sasuke. How could Naruto let go of this Honkai point that came to his door? Of course it was a wave of collapse. Well, I'll bring it. Sasuke raised the corners of his mouth subconsciously, and said in a slightly relaxed tone. Dad. Let's go then. Plow, let's go. Boruto said goodbye, took out the time-moving noble phantasm, Plow, and called out to wake up the opponent. In the next moment, a circular golden light flashed, instantly enveloping Sasuke and Boruto. The two were pulled into the time channel in an instant. The Plow takes us back to the point in time we left off. Sasuke glanced at the familiar surroundings, and said to the turtle floating in midair. Yes, Lord Sasuke. Plow responded mechanically, and the time around changed rapidly. Its energy was restored by Sasuke, so it is very respectful to Sasuke. In just a moment, Plow took them back to their own time. Master Sasuke. Now we are back to the point where we left before. Do you have any other orders? Plow fanned its limbs, floating in front of Sasuke, and asked mechanically. That's all. Let's get out. Sasuke looked at Plow with flickering eyes and ordered lightly. This time, Sasuke did not let Plow leave at will like in the original book. Since the world in the past was another world, it might as well be impossible to go back and have a look. Boruto heard Sasuke's order, but didn't interrupt. Now he is full of joy thinking about going back and telling his father how powerful he is in another world. In particular, before Naruto left, he also taught him a super powerful ninjutsu. Yes, Master Sasuke. The Plow is just a tool without emotion, and naturally it will not disobey Sasuke's orders. Sasuke and Boruto saw a flash of white light, and a familiar night scene appeared in front of them. Mr. Sasuke, we are back. Boruto stepped forward in a hurry, looked at the familiar Konoha, and said happily. Sasuke also looked at the front in a happy mood, and nodded in response. Konoha, which belongs to them, is back. Boruto, Mr. Sasuke. Why are you here wrong? Now Urashiki is invading the village, the situation is urgent. At this moment, the young Konohamaru heard Boruto's shout and approached them, looked at the two of them seriously, and said solemnly. Hey. Konohamaru-sensei, Urashiki is done. Boruto rubbed his head, looked at the young Konohamaru and laughed. Now Boruto, when I see Konohamaru, I feel time distorted. During the 2 days when he was out of the village in Naruto, he and Konohamaru practiced fighting corpses with Naruto's shadow clone. Nailed it. Konohamaru's nervous face froze, he looked at Boruto in surprise, and then turned his gaze to Sasuke. Well, Urashiki has been killed. The alert can now be lifted. Sasuke nodded to Konohamaru with an imperceptible smile on the corner of his mouth. Real. Please, Mr. Sasuke, I'm going to let everyone know. Konohamaru's face turned from worry to joy when he heard the words, thanked Sasuke respectfully, and ran outside quickly. In his opinion, Sasuke must have killed Urashiki. Boruto, I'm going to report to the 7th generation. Sasuke thought of Naruto's gift in this experience, and told Boruto to leave immediately. Leak. Since Mr. Sasuke went to find Dad, I'll go home first. Mom, she must never have imagined that Dad would be so philandering. Boruto grinned, and quickly ran towards his home. Hokage office. You mean, you and Boruto traveled through time and went back to Konoha in the past? Is it still a different past world? After listening to Sasuke's simple narration, 7th generation Naruto said with his eyes widened in disbelief. This is the Otsutsuki noble phantasm, Plow, that travels through time. Sasuke casually took out the little turtle from his skirt and introduced it to 7th generation Naruto. What an amazing turtle. 7th generation Naruto bent down and looked carefully at the noble phantasm, Plow, and exclaimed after taking a breath. By the way, that Naruto asked me to give you 2 things. Can help us fend off future Otsutsuki. Sasuke thought of Naruto's entrustment, and said seriously to 7th generation Naruto. Yes? The other me is so powerful. There is something that increases our strength? What is it? 7th generation Naruto looked at Sasuke in surprise, and asked curiously. The pressure that Otsutsuki brings to them is not as easy as it seems on the surface. Rinnegan, and this thing. Sasuke didn't hide anything. He reached out and took out 2 medicine bottles, one big and one small, and said with emotion. This is Nagato. No, is it Uchiha Madara's wheel eyes? 7th generation Naruto looked at the purple Rinnegan in one of the bottles, his eyes fixed, and he breathed heavily. No, it's a replica of those Rinnegans. In the past, Naruto had the ability to copy the power of others. For these eyes, you will find someone to help you transplant them later. Now, I'm giving this thing to Nine Tails. Sasuke took out the bottle containing Rinnegan and handed it to 7th generation Naruto. The Sharingan in his left eye appeared, staring at 7th generation Naruto's eyes, and instantly came to the sealed space. Uchiha, Sasuke, you're here. Seeing Sasuke who suddenly appeared, Nine Tails was surprised with huge fox eyes, and lazily asked in surprise. Nine Tails is very familiar with the bonded people of 7th generation Naruto. What's more, 7th generation Naruto turns on Kurama mode, and he often cooperates with Sasuke to fight. Nine Tails, here's something for you. From now on we will fight together. Sasuke thought of the advice Naruto gave him, and after taking a deep look at Nine Tails, he waved out the liquid in the small medicine bottle and threw it on Nine Tails. Sasuke, what are you doing? 7th generation Naruto, who came in with a conscious body, looked at Sasuke's movements in a daze. Nine Tails also had the same expression, looking at Sasuke strangely. Splitting Nine Tails. Make me Nine Tails Jinchuriki. Sasuke stared at Nine Tails with scorching eyes, and paused every word. Huh? You want to grab Kurama from me? 7th generation Naruto took a step back subconsciously, and shouted in shock with his pupils dilated. Uchiha Sasuke, this old man won't, Nine Tails also stared at him, and chakra broke out to reject Sasuke's unreasonable request. But only halfway through the words, he was shocked by the changes on his body. Its body suddenly split into a brand new Nine Tails. Moreover, its own strength has not weakened. What the hell does this happen? Sasuke, what did you do to Kurama? Seeing the changes in Nine Tails, 7th generation Naruto was stunned for a moment, then shouted hoarsely at Sasuke. No time to explain. It is impossible for your sealed space to hold 109 tails. I'll take you somewhere else. Release some Nine Tails first. In fact, Sasuke was also curious about the split of Nine Tails, but thinking of Naruto's entrustment, he still stabilized his mind and remained unchanged. As soon as the voice fell, Sasuke exited the sealed space, grabbed Naruto who was glowing with Nine Tails chakra all over his body, and quickly ran towards the mountain behind Konoha. After a few minutes Naruto in Kurama mode, looking at hundreds of Nine Tails, big and small, was instantly confused. Because this is the same complete Nine Tails split as in the Kushina period, so the strength is also stronger. The Nine Tails split is the same as last time. 2nd generation Nine Tails, 3 only. 3rd generation Nine Tails, 4 only. 4th generation Nine Tails, Satoshi. 5th generation 8, 6th generation 32, 7th generation 50. Nine Tails, who among you would like to be my partner now? Sasuke looked at the 3 2nd generation Nine Tails and asked excitedly. His current strength, only chakra is short-board. As long as you have a chakra that is no less than 9 tails, you can use many pupil techniques and moves in the future. 3 2nd generation Nine Tails with the same thought as Nine Tails looked at each other, and one of the Nine Tails turned into chakra and got into Sasuke's body. Here I leave it to you. I'll go to the 6th generation to add the seal. Sasuke is like a ruthless scumbag with a gun. He left the mess to 7th generation Naruto and left. It really found me a happy trouble. 7th generation Naruto rubbed his head, looked at all Nine Tails and laughed. Neither he nor Nine Tails were stupid, and he immediately knew the value of Nine Tails' split body. Even the weakest 7th generation Nine Tails can save lives. In the future, even if you are withdrawn from Nine Tails, you can use 5, 6, and 7th generation Nine Tails to renew your life. As for Nine Tails, it is equivalent to having 100 lives, and it is not worth losing one to play the heavy particle mode. Naruto, I was thinking about whether to go to Boruto after you die or Sunflower. Now, I don't have to be so entangled. One of the remaining 2nd generation Nine Tails shouted at 7th generation Naruto, the meaning of which was self-evident. The other 2nd generation Nine Tails did not refute, but set its sights on Naruto's house. 7th generation Naruto was choked by the honest words of Nine Tails, and the corners of his eyes and mouth twitched at the same time. He is only 32 years old now. What do you mean after he is dead? Today, the conversation is over. When 7th generation Naruto was having a headache for the Nine Tails, Sasuke also found Kakashi and asked Kakashi to help him add a 4-element seal. I told you in Naruto, it's time to learn the sealing technique too. If you encounter anything in the future, you can also use it. By the way, why did Nine Tails run on you? The slightly older 6th Hokage Kakashi looked at Sasuke out of breath and asked in confusion. Well, here's the thing. Sasuke didn't hide it either, and just talked about the time travel to the past in a concise manner. This makes Kakashi amazed. Unexpectedly, the self in another world was going to marry Lin. At the same time, Boruto also reported the crossing situation to Hinata, told Naruto's fascination, and showed off the flying thunder god technique he just learned. That's right. Naruto's shadow clone discovered Boruto's space talent during special training. After all, the Jinyan after Boruto can see through the moving position of time and space. Space talent, needless to say. Naruto imprinted the 4th generation's flying thunder god package in the form of illusion in Boruto's mind. Let him get started quickly and learn slowly. It's just a matter of putting into actual combat, but it's still a long way off. Naruto sighed. They saw a flash of white light and lost Sasuke and Boruto. Tip. Change the setting of Nine Tails, an important character in the parallel world, to get 100,000 Honkai points. Tip. Change the trajectory set by Uzumaki Naruto in the parallel world and get 50,000 Honkai points. Tip. Change the trajectory set by Uchiha Sasuke in the parallel world and get 50,000 Honkai points. Tip. Change the trajectory set by Uzumaki Boruto in the parallel world and get 30,000 Honkai points. Naruto smiled when he heard these prompts. Since the setting of Boruto's biography is Naruto Quarren, then he will add a few charging treasures to them. As for the Honkai point that split Nine Tails again, Naruto didn't care too much. Is this time travel? Naruto, can I do something with you? I think, go back and change Obito's fate. Kakashi suddenly turned his head to look at Naruto, and asked in a deep voice. The death and change of Obito is an existence that Kakashi cannot let go of. Now with this opportunity, Kakashi naturally wants to make a change. I have no problem, but are you sure about taking the king? Don't you worry. Obito won't kill you and your wife in another world because you are in love with his wife? Or, would you like to give up the teacher's wife to Obito and let them live together in another world? Naruto looked at Kakashi playfully and laughed. Kakashi's expression was startled, and he froze in place for a moment. At first, he had this idea, which is one of the reasons why he accepted Lin. But what Obito did, and the act of killing Lin, made Kakashi a little entangled. Okay, now that it's over, Kakashi, don't think about those things. Now it's time to prepare for your wedding. Jiraiya patted Kakashi's shoulder wisely, interrupting his random thoughts. Kakashi's body shook when he heard the words. He nodded in default. At the same time, Uchiha Itachi, who came out of the Uchiha tribe, bumped into Seiko, who was going home. It's just that when the siblings met this time, the two of them seemed to have a tacit understanding. After glancing at each other, they passed each other without saying a word. Like a familiar stranger. In the future, don't come back if you have nothing to do. Just when Uchiha Itachi was about to walk out of the corner, Sako's low voice came from his ear. Uchiha Itachi paused in his footsteps. Finally there was a slight change in his calm paralyzed face, and he hummed insignificantly. Immediately, leave work quickly, don't come back if you have nothing to do. That means you can come back if you have something to do. Sako's statement made Uchiha Itachi very useful. Borrowing the sporadic moonlight, Uchiha Itachi walked out of Konoha with ease. Suddenly, Uchiha Itachi's footsteps stopped, and his scarlet eyes stared straight ahead. In front, the Scarlet 3 Tomo Sharingan girl stared at him angrily. Uchiha Itachi. Quan, long time no see. Uchiha Itachi looked at the familiar pretty face, took off his hat and looked up at him, saying with mixed feelings. When Uchiha Quan saw that it was really Uchiha Itachi, Qianying was slightly taken aback, and the 3 hooked jades in her eyes began to spin crazily. Why? Why did you lie to me in the first place? Why didn't you take me with you? Tears flowed from Uchiha Izumi's cheeks. Staring at Uchiha Itachi with scarlet eyes, he questioned out of control. Back then, Uchiha Itachi used illusion to give her a false future. Then, she was killed. As to whether it was Itachi who killed her, Uchiha Izumi didn't know. But these are not important now. Feel sorry. At that time, you had no value for me to take away. Uchiha Itachi looked at the girl who had confessed to him, suppressed the throbbing in his heart, and said in a low voice pretending to be cold. Value? Ha ha ha. Am I in your heart, just a measure of value? I just want to ask you one question, is the illusion you performed on me a charity for me, or? Uchiha Izumi laughed angrily at Uchiha Itachi's words, and after laughing at himself, asked nervously with tears on his face. Feel sorry. Uchiha Itachi looked at the girl with pear blossoms and rain. Although he felt sad, he still suppressed his emotions and said coldly. Although he is Akatsuki's boss now, and Uchiha has all been resurrected, but Uchiha Itachi is ashamed in his heart, so he can't face Uchiha Kwan. Or, being alone in old age is his proper ending. Feel sorry. Ha ha ha. I understand. Itachi, I don't need your pity. From now on, we are strangers. I'm not your opponent, Yugo. Uchiha Izumi's pupils shrank suddenly, and the tears in his eyes poured down like a bank, and he shouted in a dazed way. A hint of distress flashed in Uchiha Itachi's eyes, but he still walked slowly past Uchiha Izumi with his own strong will. He couldn't face the former girl with peace of mind. Although, it was Uchiha Obito who killed Izumi at the time. The two passed by in this way, and behind Uchiha Izumi, 2 lines of tears also flowed from the corners of Uchiha Itachi's eyes. What Uchiha Itachi didn't know was that when he walked by Izumi's side, Izumi's eyes were filled with blood and tears. The 3 hooks of the eyes are quickly linked together to form an eerie Mangekyo pattern. Uchiha Izumi, emotionally stimulated, opened her own Mangekyo Sharingan. At this time, Uchiha Izumi didn't know anything about it, but just stood there motionless with dull eyes. Few minutes. Mangekyo Sharingan. Uchiha has another neurosis. No. Is there a genius again? Naruto, who came home, walked back from outside the village, and saw Uchiha Izumi with bloody eyes and a dull face. Do you think I'm pretty? If I confess to you, do you agree? Izumi, whose eyes were dull, saw the handsome Naruto, and asked without knowing what to think. This score situation, at least I can't see how beautiful you are now. I'm too vulgar, and if I don't make a beautiful confession, I'll just be ugly and reject it. Naruto was confused by Uchiha Izumi's question, and said playfully. With face full of blood and tears now, even when a fairy comes, she won't be pretty anymore. Who is this burying? Then how do you find out? Uchiha Kwan didn't know why, and asked again in a strange way. At least, you should take a shower too. Naruto looked at the Uchiha girl with weird eyes, and said perfunctorily. Then let's take a shower. I know there is a mixed bathing hot spring nearby. Uchiha Izumi's eyes lit up, he stepped forward and pulled Naruto towards a place. This is not appropriate. Faced with this good thing delivered to his door, Naruto certainly would not refuse, and said politely as if he wanted to refuse. However, Uchiha Izumi didn't respond, instead his steps became more hasty. 10 minutes later the two met frankly in the mixed bath spring. Naruto also recognized who Uchiha Izumi was after washing her face. At the same time, thinking of the Itachi I met on the way home just now, I knew it clearly. Dare to feel. This one is stimulated by emotion. There is a saying that the fastest way to forget about a relationship is to start a new one. This is exciting to start Mangekyo, and Naruto is not surprised to do such a thing. After all, the Mangekyo of the Uchiha family will change some thinking and 3 views. Well, like second generation said, Mangekyo are crazy. After thinking about the reason, Naruto is not polite. You should be jealous, you should eat. It's cheap to deliver it to your door, and if you refuse it, you're still a man. Well, first-hand Uchiha spring, it smells really good. Naruto opened his eyes in a daze, and saw a pair of scarlet eyes staring at him. This situation shocked Naruto. What are you going to do? I didn't force you last night. Naruto looked at Izumi's pretty face, and the small and exquisite body below the neck, swallowed subconsciously and emphasized. Uchiha Izumi blushed upon hearing this, glared at Naruto in embarrassment, turned his head and began to dress. Although she took the initiative last night, is it really good to say that? Besides, Uchiha Izumi's mood is extremely complicated now. Uzumaki Naruto, I know you. I will come to you again. After Uchiha Izumi dressed quickly, he glanced behind his head, the 3 hooks in his eyes were connected together. Mangekyo Sharingan squinted at Naruto and pretended to be calm. Then, boom. Naruto looked at Uchiha Izumi, who dropped the harsh words and fell to the ground before taking 2 steps, with a frowning smile on his face. That's it. You still don't want to be brave, just stay here and rest today. Naruto took 2 steps forward, picked up Izumi and put him back under his blanket, looked at the shame-faced pretty face, and smiled brightly. Last night, in the face of the crazy Kwan, he did not feel sorry for her. This also led to Izumi's injuries being heavier than those of Sakura Jr. and others in the first time. It's not you. Kwan's face was bright red, he turned his head and muttered in a low voice. Okay, you rest here. I'm going out to get some breakfast. Seeing Kwan's embarrassed face, Naruto found a reason to leave directly. After the first round last night, Naruto brought Izumi home with Flying Thunder God, and then. Well, the scene is very exciting. After Naruto left, Uchiha Izumi stared at the ceiling in a daze. Well, the current popular female characters still haven't grown out of their bodies. The effect of this experience is greatly reduced. I can't just wait like this. Naruto, who walked out the door, thought of Izumi, little Sakura, Shiro's figure, and some beauties from the Shippuden period, and made a silent decision in his heart. He wants to quickly enter Shippuden. At noon, under the care of Naruto, Uchiha Izumi was finally able to move around and sneaked back to his home. Naruto, who sent Izumi away, was cleaning the traces left by Izumi at home, when little Sakura's shouts sounded outside the door. Little Sakura, what's the matter? Naruto quickly put on a disguise, went out and asked in front of little Sakura. Naruto, Mr. Kakashi is getting married the day after tomorrow. I'm thinking about what gift to give him. Do you have any good suggestions? As soon as the little Sakura saw Naruto coming out, she stepped forward and hugged Naruto's arm and said sweetly. The day after tomorrow? The action is really fast. Then call Seiko, the three of us will prepare a gift for him. After all, she is also a student of Master Kakashi. Naruto, who already knew about this, curled his lips indifferently. Ah, you still want to call Seiko? Alright. Even if that guy is now a member of the 5th generation, he was once a member of Class 7. Little Sakura yelled angrily. She was planning to go shopping with Naruto to buy gifts. But what Naruto said was also reasonable. Little Sakura was afraid that Naruto would say she was stingy, so she could only grit her teeth and agree. Then you go to the shop in front first, I'll go find Seiko. Naruto pointed to the commercial street not far ahead, and past the small Sakura road. Then without giving little Sakura a chance to reply, he closed the door and launched Flying Thunder God to leave. Seeing this, little Sakura could only turn around and walk towards the street. What? Choose a wedding present for teacher Kakashi. For things like shopping, of course I'm going. Hurry up and go. After Seiko heard Naruto's intention, he immediately got up and looked at Naruto with excited eyes. It is also a good choice to go out and relax occasionally for the complicated work of Hokage. The key is, you can go shopping in a legitimate way. How do I feel? Your attention is not on one channel. Seeing Sako's excited expression, Naruto looked at Seiko with suspicion. Idiot. Seiko, whose little thought was punctured, gave Naruto a big roll of his eyes speechlessly, turned his head and snorted arrogantly. Seeing this, Naruto stopped bickering, stepped forward and grabbed Sako's right hand, hugged Sako's waist, and directly activated Flying Thunder God. When Seiko was embraced by Naruto, his pretty face full of stubbornness suddenly froze, and he looked at Naruto with strange eyes. This guy is not trying to take advantage of her. I treat you like a brother. What to look at? Hi is intentional. Naruto ignored Sako's arrogant eyes and thought to himself. 2 days later, Kakashi, Lin, congratulations. From today onwards, you are a married couple. Jiraiya, who was the host of the wedding, stood on the stage and congratulated the two couples. At the same time, the many ninjas below also started booing and heightening the atmosphere. Mr. Kakashi, this is a wedding present from me, Naruto, and Seiko to you and your wife. The little Sakura also came forward to congratulate with the gift she had prepared at the right time. Ms. Kakashi, congratulations. This is the heart of our 8th class. Not to be outdone, Ino took out the gifts they had prepared and congratulated them. With his eyes, he secretly looked at Naruto without leaving any trace. Roar. Kakashi, you win this time. Tomorrow I will find a woman to talk about getting married, and I will definitely catch up with you. Might Guy yelled excitedly, and next to him was Xiao Li who was also yelling. With this style of painting, many female ninjas are sweating on their foreheads and twitching at the corners of their mouths. Just like you, who wants to marry you? Shikamaru, Neji, Shino. Come with me. I have something to say. At the end of the ceremony, when everyone was drinking and squabbling, Naruto came to the gathered 10 Xiaoqiang and said hello. As for Seiko, she is not sitting with them because of her Hokage status. Shi Xiaoqiang looked around, nodded silently and followed Naruto out of the auditorium. Under the leadership of Naruto, 10 Xiaoqiang soon came to the 3rd training ground. The next ninja world will not be as peaceful as before. We are all partners in the same period, and we are also good partners. Therefore, I have prepared a training plan for each of you. After 3 years, the ninja world will change. Naruto looked at Shi Xiaoqiang, with a round and deep-speaking narrow path. He is about to speed up the time in the ninja world, and it is time to give Shi Xiaoqiang a break. In this way, not only can you get the collapse points, but you can also copy their cultivation results in the later stage. It's not Naruto's style to waste 3 years of fast-forward time. Naruto, I already knew you knew something. Unexpectedly, you even know the future. I won't ask about such troublesome things. Tell me what you think. Shikamaru pretended to be lazy and shouted, under the face of idleness, there was a trace of worry about the future. Shikamaru, who has had a close relationship with Naruto since he was a child, is very aware of Naruto's changes during this time. If it were you, I would agree with you unconditionally. Neji looked at Naruto seriously and said firmly. Naruto-kun, I will support your decision. Hinata had a hint of shame on her face, but she still dared to speak before little Sakura and Ino. Well, the position of the eldest wife is well placed. Me too. Little Sakura, Ino followed with loud assurances. Several other people looked at each other and nodded to Naruto tacitly. Okay, let's get started. Neji, Hinata, you two strengthen the development of Hyuga's white eyes, and I will give you a big gift in 3 years. Shikamaru, Choji, Ino. If you agree, I will make you 3rd generation 9 Tails Jinchuriki. As long as your family secrets are guaranteed by chakra, you can develop more and stronger ninjutsu. Tianshin, I have prepared a super power training box for you. As long as you insist on uninterrupted training for 3 years, you must practice for 3 hours a day, and you will get 3 special strengths. Xiao Li, I will prepare a special power for you to ensure your growth. After 3 years, you must be beyond the existence of Mr. Guy. Shino, Kiba, your bugs and ninjas can't adapt to 9 Tails chakra. I will strengthen your bugs and ninjas to help you grow. Little Sakura, you continue to follow Master Tsunade to learn all her ninjutsu and forbidden technique. Naruto looked at Shi Shaoqiang and said his plan word by word. Is it so troublesome? 3rd generation 9 Tails? What is that? Isn't 9 Tails on you? When Shikamaru heard Naruto's words, his pupils shrank slightly, and he asked curiously. Others have similar expressions, except little Sakura, but no one knows about the 9 Tails. 3rd generation 9 Tails is the equivalent of 3 Tails. They are the 3rd generation split of 9 Tails. They already agree with my existence, and they will not erode your will. It is an existence that can be regarded as a partner. You don't have to worry about that. Naruto looked at the puzzled crowd, explained to the 3 of Shikamaru, and also helped them relax. I trust you, Naruto. Now that you have reached this level, brothers can only support you. Shikamaru took a deep look at Naruto, a flash of fear of the tailed beast flashed in his eyes, but he still gritted his teeth and insisted. Then I too. After seeing Shikamaru's statement, Choji also promised. Where Ino Shikacho, how can you two guys be so cool? Naruto-kun, I can do it too. Ino arrogantly reprimanded Shikamaru and Choji, and stared at Naruto coquettishly. In this picture, Hinata and little Sakura are getting angry straight up. Just when Xiao Sakura was about to speak, Xiao Li interrupted Ino's peach eye attack first. Naruto, what power are you going to give me? I'm really curious, what kind of power will allow me to surpass Mr. Guy in 3 years' time? Xiao Li stepped forward with a face full of excitement. Regardless of Ino's cannibalistic expression standing in front of her, he looked at Naruto eagerly and said. A power that fits well with the 8 inner gates. We'll talk about that later. Naruto comforted Xiao Li with a smile, stretched out his hand, took out a box and handed it to Tien Tien. Remember, insist on training for 3 years, 3 hours a day, and you can't stop a day. In this way, after 3 years, you will have 3 powers, mind power, perspective power, and teleportation. You can understand it as something like blood succession limit or secret technique. Naruto lowered his head and put his ear next to Tianshin's ear, and whispered close to her earlobe. The strong masculine breath made Tien Tien's face flush, and her delicate body was tense, almost unable to stand steadily. Fortunately, Naruto also saw that something was wrong with Tianshin, so he touched it as soon as he finished speaking. Unexpectedly, Tianshin is still a sensitive physique. This super power training box with 30,000 Honkai points is not a loss. Naruto thought to himself, and turned his gaze to the others. Both Hinata and little Sakura silently added Tianshin to the ranks of potential rivals in love. Well, I'll give you 3 first. Summoning technique. Naruto glanced at Shikamaru and the 3 of them, muttering to himself, he pressed his hands to the ground and said. Bang 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 4 streams of white smoke rose in a row, and 4 3rd generation 9 Tails appeared at the same time. The huge body instantly occupied all the open space around it, as well as many trees. Stars, 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 stars. These 3 are the Jinchuriki I chose for you. You can choose by yourself, and those who don't want to can abstain. Naruto pointed at Shikamaru, Choji, Ino, and shouted at the 4 9 Tails. Is this the power of 9 tails? At this time, Zhu Shaoqiang was stunned by the aura unintentionally emitted by the 4 9 tails, and his eyes were terrified. Only little Sakura with Mangekyo Sharingan, without any look of fear. I'm coming, it's too boring to stay in Qingchu Mountain. Qingchu Xingchun spoke first, staring at Shikamaru, who pretended to be calm, turned into chakra and got into Shikamaru's body. Don't rob people. Qingchu Xingguang and Qingchu Xingyao let out a low roar, turned into chakra one after the other, and entered the bodies of Choji and Ino respectively. The only thing left behind was Qingchu Xingmang, whose reaction was half a beat slower, messing around in the wind. It also wants to go out for a lap. Naruto saw the 3 9 tails returning to their positions, and immediately stepped forward to fill the 4 elephant seals for the 3 of them. Naruto, is there no one else? I also want to go out and have a look. Qingchu Mountain is nice, but it's too monotonous. Qingchu Xingmang looked at Naruto with a black face, his huge fox eyes aimed at other people from time to time, and asked in a buzzing voice. None of them fit well. Naruto said in embarrassment. He didn't expect the 3rd generation 9 tails to cooperate so well. I don't know, can I do it? Just when Qingchu Xingmang was disappointed, a petite figure came out, gritted his teeth and said firmly. Hinata. Why do you want to? Naruto asked in surprise when he saw the girl who jumped out. He could clearly feel Hinata's fear of 9 tails. I want to be like Naruto-kun. Experience the life of Jinchuriki together. Hinata's face was blushing, but she still spoke her heart firmly. Well, it's all for Naruto-kun not to be snatched away by others. Naruto's pupils trembled, and he murmured uncontrollably. His love for Hinata escalated again. It's hard not to feel sorry for such a girl. As expected, she is indeed Naruto's future wife, so that's it. Qingchu Xingmang laughed and teased. His body instantly transformed into chakra and penetrated into Hinata's body. They all know that Hinata is Naruto's future wife. This is what Kurama heard when Naruto inadvertently talked to himself before splitting 9 tails. Qingchu Xingmang's teasing made Hinata, who was still nervous and scared, lose her fear in an instant. On the contrary, he has a different affirmation for Qingchu Xingmang. Seeing this, Naruto could only helplessly shake his head, and stepped forward to bless Hinata with the 4-element seal. Originally, he was going to enable Neji and Hinata to open the Tensigan plugin. I didn't expect to be careless, and that's it. Shino, Kiba. Unleash your bugs and ninja dogs. Don't be surprised whatever you see, Naruto said to Shino and Kiba, and a flashlight appeared in his hand. This is Doraemon's one-time props, evolution and degeneration ray gun. Any item that can be irradiated, a tool for evolution or degradation. Including the evolution of the brains of lower animals into intelligent organisms similar to human brains, and the body shape is also very similar to human beings. It is also possible to degenerate organisms into their most primitive species. It is worth 50,000 Honkai points, and can only evolve or degenerate for 10,000 years. Although Shino and Ya didn't know why, they still put their partner on the open space in front of them. Naruto saw that they were ready, turned on the flashlight directly, and began to evolve a 10,000 years operation. While regressing for 10,000 years, it is possible to gain atavistic bloodlines. But the time of 10,000 years is too short, and if you degenerate, you will lose your present wisdom. It's better to evolve more safely. Under the surprised eyes of everyone, Akamaru's body began to change, claws, teeth and hair, changing every moment. And Shino's bugs are in the same situation. This is an evolutionary species. As an expert in controlling insects, Ji now quickly saw the mystery and exclaimed in disbelief. Akamaru, my god. Ya, a scumbag, just stared at Akamaru, who was getting bigger and bigger with wide eyes, trembling with sweat on his forehead. At this time, Akamaru already had the size of an elephant and was still growing. Time passed quickly and 10,000 years of evolutionary light disappeared with it. In front of everyone's eyes was a tall Akamaru who was half the size of Toad Bunta. And a cloud of pitch-black insects that couldn't see the size of Suzumushi's child. This is an evolutionary insect equivalent to nanoworms. Come on, just kidding. How can I cooperate well with such Akamaru? Looking at the huge and ferocious white-haired giant dog with cold sweat dripping from his teeth, he said nervously. It is your thing. Xiao Li, it's your turn now. Naruto looked at Fang and shrugged indifferently, then looked at little Li Dao. It's my turn, it's finally my turn. Woo woo woo. This is the hot-blooded youth. The finale is always the most powerful. Naruto, I'm ready. After Xiao Li played a set of fists and kicks, he stared at Naruto with burning eyes and said passionately. You eat this and go back to practice without your life. Naruto looked at Xiao Li speechlessly, handed him a black pill, and said calmly. That's it. I know, it must be some precious secret medicine. Naruto, I will not disappoint your kindness. Xiao Li was taken aback for a moment, then suddenly realized and said firmly. He took the pill but threw it into his mouth without looking at it, and chewed expectantly. Well, it smells like Bingliang Wan. While chewing, Xiao Li frowned and said to himself. Nonsense, that is Bingliang Wan. The power below is not displayed here. Naruto thought to himself when he heard Xiao Li's murmur. Well, that's it. I have something to go. Naruto thought of the heaven-defying hack for Xiao Li, and couldn't wait to leave everyone behind, and launched Flying Thunder God to leave. Everyone glanced at each other, and each walked towards their own house according to the surging mood. Only Ya was forced to stay, looking at the huge, Akamaru wants to cry but has no tears. Just as he was scratching his teeth, a white light radiated from Akamaru's body, and his body size instantly shrunk by 10 times. Although it still has the body shape of a cow and a horse, it already makes Ya ecstatic. Tooth, you are so stupid. I'm a ninja dog, why don't I have my own talent for ninja? Akamaru spat out words, his eyes showed bursts of contempt, and he struck down with disdain. You can talk. Ya was taken aback for a moment, then looked at Akamaru in surprise, and shouted naively. Nonsense, otherwise what are you hearing? Akamaru squinted at Fang again, turned and walked towards the Inuzuka clan. This Akamaru, your temper has grown. Kiba looked at Akamaru's back, scratched his head and muttered. Yuan hurriedly chased after him. Hokage Rock Naruto sits cross-legged on top of the stone statue of the 4th generation, overlooking Konoha village. In his hand, again appeared a bottle of Li 800. Rock Lee, it is impossible to have Saiyan blood without side effects. Naruto finished the 800 potion of Li in one gulp, and said seriously. That's right, what Naruto wants is Saiyan blood without side effects. For Xiao Li, Naruto is actually very entangled. Originally, matching him with 9 tails or Sage Body is the best solution to match 8 inner gates. Turn on 8 gates Kurama mode, just ask if you are afraid. But Naruto himself knows 8 inner gates in Kurama mode, and his current body is also Sage Body. This is somewhat unnecessary, he wants to show off to everyone while also gaining something. It can be the collapse point, or the ability to replicate. So, Naruto thought of a power that would fit perfectly with 8 inner gates. Saiyan blood in the world of Dragon Ball, with Li 800, it is not difficult for Xiao Li to have Saiyan blood. The difficulty lies in how many potential Saiyan bloodlines 800 Lis can show. After all, the Saiyan bloodline is also strong and weak. No matter how much it is, as long as Xiao Li cultivates hard, he can just copy it when the time comes. Tip. Change Narashikamaru's set trajectory to get 5,000 Honkai points. Tip. Change Akamichi Choji's set trajectory to get 50,000 Honkai points. Tip. Change Yamanaka Ino's set trajectory to get 50,000 Honkai points. Tip. Change Hyuga Hinata's set trajectory to get 50,000 Honkai points. Tip. Change the track set by the Aburame Shinobug to get 30,000 Honkai points. Reminder. Change the trajectory set by Inuzuka Tooth Ninja and get 3,000 Honkai points. Tip. Change the trajectory set by Lock Lee and get 500,000 Honkai points. In an instant, several notification sounds came from Naruto's ear. There is no Tianshin, is it a problem that superpowers have not been learned? However, Xiao Li's 500,000 collapse points already speaks volumes. I don't know how powerful the Saiyan bloodline he possesses will be. Don't seek super competition, and don't think about the potential of superior fighters. As long as you have the full potential of lower-level fighters, you can go sideways in the ninja world. After all, it is Saiyan blood without side effects, so don't be too greedy. Naruto thought happily, and quickly calculated the harvest again, feeling even happier. Superpower Training Box, 30,000 Honkai points. Evolve and degenerate the light gun, Fang Benkai point. Li 800, 500,000 Honkai points. The payment of 130,000 was exchanged for a profit of 760,000 Honkai points. Despite the intrusion of 4 tails, the collapse point of Tianshin has not yet appeared. In short, no loss. Now, Naruto's total Honkai point balance is more than 2.57 million points. Now, it's time to accelerate the world. Well, there is one more thing to do. Shadow clone technique. Naruto thought for a while, and suddenly thought of agreeing to Tamari and Gaara's special training, instantly entering Kurama mode, and splitting out a special shadow clone. This shadow clone's chakra is enough to guarantee his existence for a month or two. Teach Tamari and Gaara some tricks, enough. Doraemon, I want to speed up the progress of time in this world. Are there any props that can accelerate the world to 3 years later? After making all the preparations, Naruto said to Doraemon in his heart. This kind of props, it can't be said that there is no such thing. The time-shortening machine can speed up the flow of time, that is, speed up time. For this prop, every time the joystick is rotated, it will speed up the flow of time for 1 minute. As the rotation continues to increase, 10 consecutive turns, the flow rate of time changes with each turn. An hour, a day, a week, a month, a year. As long as you rotate 50 times in a row, you will enter the time flow state of 1 circle and 1 year. In other words, if you want to speed up the time by 3 years, you have to turn 53 times. Naruto, this state is actually very dangerous. If one is not paying attention, due to the rapid flow of time, one will lose one's lifespan and die of old age. Also, your mind doesn't grow except your body normally grows. And the outside world is subconsciously ignoring your existence during this period of time. Doraemon said seriously to Naruto in the sealed space. That's right, I understand. Doraemon, give me the time shortener, I want to fast forward time to 3 years later. Knowing the situation, Naruto excitedly said to Doraemon. Those problems are nothing to him, alright. Due to the suppression of the will of the world, this prop is at most only in units of years. There should be no surprises. 100,000 Honkai points once, here you go. Doraemon murmured again, and took out a hand-cranked toy from the 4-dimensional pocket, and handed it to Naruto. Naruto took over the time-shortening machine and couldn't wait to start operating it. 1 lap, 2 laps, 3 laps. In order to prevent accidents, Naruto honestly counted and turned the time-shortening machine. It doesn't matter if the speed is slow, as long as it rotates 53 times continuously, it will be fine. Under Naruto's operation, Konoha seemed to be accelerating, and slowly began to speed up. The 5th Hokage rock next to Naruto began to be built at a rapid pace. Konoha's architecture is also a rapid takeoff with 1 change per second. With the strength, age, and appearance of everyone in Konoha, he grew up quickly. 52, 53. Finished. Naruto shouted excitedly after completing the last turn of the joystick. This state of speeding up time not only affects Konoha, but also spreads all over the whole ninja world. Black-White Zetsu, who is hiding in the dark and collecting information on tailed beasts, and 10 Tails Jinchuriki Uchiha Madara are also speeding up their entry into the city at this time. In just 3 years, they secretly recovered Orway, 3 tails, 4 tails, 5 tails, and 7 tails. Orochimaru also used the body of the bag to complete the practice of Sage Mode in the research and development of many experiments. Under the helm of Uchiha Itachi, the Akatsuki organization is developing methodically and rapidly according to the plan. As for Sand Shinobi, it was as Naruto thought. Shadow Clone disappeared 2 months later. Tamari and Gaara grew rapidly with the help of Naruto Shadow Clone. Konoha's Xiaoqiang are also practicing hard on their own paths. In the past 3 years, except for Naruto, everything has been developing at an accelerated pace according to the established track. After completing the time acceleration, Naruto also became the appearance of the Shippuden period. The height and face shape have changed a little. At the same time, Cloud Shinobi, Rock Shinobi, Mist Shinobi, also because of the loss of the tailed beast, frequently provoke conflicts in the ninja world. The 4th Ninja World War is about to start. 9.